Chapter 861. Buckle up, don't just think about women all day long. A gentle breeze blew, and Lin Moyu had just flown out of the sea. The seawater was boiling and burning. Antares' mouthful of dragon breath had blasted him back to the human world, dropping him directly into the sea. The dragon breath was too strong, directly igniting and boiling the seawater. Lin Moyu helplessly flew into the air, waiting for the dragon breath to extinguish. After Lin Moyu left, Antares' gaze gradually became serious. The clouds surrounding his body completely dissipated. Its body was glowing, with 9-colored light enveloping its entire body, shining brightly. Finally, it's all complete. How many years, how many years? My Dragon Balls have finally returned. Antares muttered to himself, his tone slightly excited. I'll be back to my peak soon. When that time comes, you bunch of guys better wait for me. I'll collect the debts you owe me with interest. Old guy, don't think you can get away with this just by giving me 2 Dragon Balls. It's not enough, far from enough. The light became even more dazzling, and Antares' aura was rising rapidly. With all the Dragon Balls returned, Antares' power would return to its peak. And not only that, Antares also had 2 Dragon Balls given by the Dragon God. Once he had fully understood these 2 Dragon Balls and obtained the power and inheritance within, it would be possible to nurture his own Dragon Ball. Antares disdained using other people's Dragon Balls. Unearned gains would have many drawbacks. Only the Dragon Ball cultivated by oneself truly belonged to oneself. Among the dragons, Dragon Balls represented strength, status, and position. Dragon Balls were at their extreme in 9s. Every 9 more Dragon Balls would represent a difference of a major realm, and status would also be completely different. Legend has it that the dragon ancestor had 36 Dragon Balls and was the head of the dragons. And this generation's dragon god had 27 Dragon Balls, a major realm away from the dragon ancestor. Antares had 16 Dragon Balls, another major realm away from the dragon god. But Antares could be considered an absolute powerhouse among the dragons, second only to the dragon god. This time, Antares had the hope of cultivating 2 more Dragon Balls, bringing the number of Dragon Balls to 18, which was the peak of his level. At that time, unless the Dragon God personally suppressed him, he wouldn't be afraid of anyone else in the dragon race. As for whether the Dragon God would suppress him, Antares knew some inside information and wasn't worried. Low dragon roars came one after another as Antares began to recover, climbing towards his former peak. When Lin Moyu returned to the manor, a look of surprise appeared on his face. Why is she here? In Lin Moyu's perception, Lillian was sitting in the hall. Shu Han was also sitting in the hall, talking to Lillian. It could be seen that Shu Han and Lillian were already somewhat familiar. It seemed Lillian had been here for some days. Shu Han was drinking tea, and Lillian was also drinking the dragon blood wine she had brought. A faint bloody smell permeated the air. When Lin Moyu appeared, Lillian sensed it and revealed a smile. You're finally back. Lin Moyu happened to walk into the hall. Seeing Lin Moyu, joy flashed in Shu Han's eyes. She got up and came to Lin Moyu's side, naturally taking Lin Moyu's hand. You're back. Lin Moyu nodded. I'm back. I made you worry. From Shu Han's eyes, Lin Moyu could see worry. Shu Han smiled. It's good that you're back. Seeing the two being intimate, Lillian couldn't help but scoff. Her expression was obviously disdainful. Lin Moyu knew that for someone with great ambition, these matters of love were obstacles on the path to becoming stronger. Lin Moyu held Shu Han's small hand. What's wrong? Why are you here to find me? Lillian glanced at Shu Han. Is it convenient to talk about it? Lin Moyu smiled. There's nothing inconvenient. Speak. Lillian was very straightforward. According to the current progress, your human race will be able to control the abyss in a year at the earliest and 2 years at the latest. I've almost done what I promised you. What about what you promised me? Lin Moyu said, it's almost there. I'm already level 98. It won't be too long before I become a transcendent. Lillian sized up Lin Moyu and sensed Lin Moyu's powerful aura. He was indeed already level 98. As long as Lin Moyu reached the transcendent level, becoming the master of the world shouldn't be difficult. Then her plan could be fully realized. You came here just for this? Lin Moyu asked strangely. Lillian rolled her eyes at Lin Moyu. Is that not allowed? My home is about to be torn apart by you humans. Is there a problem with me coming to urge you on? Lest you can't get out of bed and delay my plan. Lillian's speech had always been strong. But that eye roll still seemed very charming. She was just too beautiful, unbelievably beautiful. Lin Moyu didn't know how someone with half-human, half-demon blood could be so beautiful. Lin Moyu smiled. You've come at the right time. I also have something to discuss with you. What is it? Help me put on a show. Another show? Yes, another show. Alright, tell me, how do you need me to cooperate? Lin Moyu explained his plan. Lillian glanced at Lin Moyu. You want to gather the power of faith, right? Lin Moyu was slightly surprised. How did she know? Lillian chuckled. Don't worry about how I know, okay, I'll cooperate with you in this show. Let's set the time in half a year, when your human race has advanced a bit more, and your power of faith is a bit weaker. Then I will take action and create some trouble for your human race. Lin Moyu nodded. Okay, don't overdo it. Lillian giggled. Don't worry, I have a sense of propriety. Also, hurry up, don't just think about women all day. After speaking, Lillian turned and left without looking back. Shu Han's face was flushed. This guy's words had a double meaning, still a demon emperor, talking nonsense. Lin Moyu smiled. She's just like that, in her mind, living is the first priority. Becoming stronger is also for survival, she never values other things. Shu Han pulled Lin Moyu down to sit and poured him hot tea. She also likes to drink dragon blood. Lin Moyu slowly sipped his tea, acting like a landlord. When did she come? Shu Han thought for a while. 3 days ago, she came but didn't say anything, except for drinking dragon blood. She didn't do anything else. Asked her to eat together, she didn't come either. But I just saw you chatting with her. Shu Han nodded. Didn't speak on the first day, only said a few words on the second day. I feel like she has something very heavy on her mind. Perhaps. Worries, who doesn't have them? Lillian has worries, and he himself has worries. Many things can't be said, you can only bear them yourself. This trip to the deep space was very rewarding. 2 levels up, soul level and grade, both reached level 98, finally reaching a state of balance. The quality of the soul has progressed from just entering the 3rd grade, to now moving towards the 4th grade. Also, in the state of overdrafting soul power, he actually stimulated the laws contained in the Undead Wings spell. The law of space, and the law of time are both in the 1st tier of laws. Very strong, very strong. It's just that he is still far from comprehending it now. Even the most familiar undead law can only be driven, not controlled. The road ahead is still very long. Chapter 862. Start acting, Emperor D's divine assistance. After Lin Moyu returned, he spent 2 days with his beloved wives, and then started his own cultivation again. Lillian was right, he really had to hurry up. Whether for himself or for Ning Yi and others, he couldn't waste time. He was already level 98, and he could already drive the laws. Next, if he wanted to step into the demigod realm, he needed to try to control the laws. Driving the laws and controlling the laws, although both are using the laws, there is an essential difference between the two. Driving is just using the laws do not belong to you, and are not labeled with your own label. You can use it, and others can use it too. Controlling the laws means gathering the laws in the soul and body, residing in yourself permanently, and labeling the laws with your own label. In this way, the law will become your private property. It can be manipulated more freely. At the same time, the power of the law will be greatly increased. It can be said that after becoming a demigod, the improvement of strength is the improvement of the soul and the improvement of the degree of control of the law. You only need to control 1% of a certain law to become a demigod. Then continue to comprehend the law and increase the control of the law to 2%. Although it only increased by 1%, the power of the law has actually doubled. 2% of the law's control is also one of the basic conditions for becoming a god. In the process of controlling the law, constantly enhance your own attributes. Choose one of the 3 paths, and make one of the attributes break through to 10 million. Combined with 2% law control, you can step into the god level in 1 step. This is the process of becoming a god level. It sounds simple, but it is not easy to do. Lin Moyu is now able to drive the undead law with ease. With a thought, a cloud of gray and white gas appeared in his hand. This is the undead law. It contains life and death, the complete undead law. At the same time, in the soul world, the small palm of the soul body also showed the undead law. Whether using the body or the soul to drive the undead law, it only takes a thought. But when Lin Moyu wanted to imprint his soul mark on the undead law and put his own unique label on it, he couldn't do it no matter what. The undead law always remains on the surface, it can be used when needed, and it will dissipate when not needed. It never reaches the level of controlling the law. Lin Moyu knew that this couldn't be rushed, it needed time and comprehension. Just like when he comprehended the undead law, perhaps an epiphany would do it. Now he has all the basics, only the east wind is missing. Time passed day by day. The situation in the abyss became more and more favorable for the human race. The living space of the abyss demons was constantly compressed, and they retreated steadily. The human race has been suppressed by the abyss demons for so many years, and this war can finally be said to be a success. One exciting victory after another was recorded in history. In the face of victory, the human race became confident, became strong, and also became self-centered. From initially worshipping Lin Moyu, to later no longer completely believing in Lin Moyu's power. In less than 2 years, the worship of Lin Moyu was rapidly decreasing. There was a kind of illusion that I could do it too. The power of faith was greatly weakened as a result, and this trend was still increasing. Suddenly one day, the demons began to resist. The demon emperor appeared on the battlefield, and with just a few moves, she severely damaged the human race. Then, the demon emperor continued to take action, and the demons began to counterattack. The human race began to retreat steadily. At this moment, the human race was stunned. Before the demon emperor appeared, there were even voices in the human race saying that the demon emperor was afraid and dared not take action. Some people even clamored that even if the demon emperor took action, they could still beat her back. Until now, when the demon emperor really took action, people realized how big the gap in strength was. Meng Anwen, Bai Yiyuan, Yan Guangsheng. The three knew about the cooperation between the demon emperor Lilian and Lin Moyu, and Lilian would not take action. This was also their confidence in wiping out the demons of the abyss this time. But now, Lilian's sudden action puzzled the three. Could it be that the demon empress regrets it? It shouldn't be. If she wanted to act, she would have done it long ago, not waited until now. Then what is the reason? Why don't we ask Xiao Yu? After some discussion, Meng Anwen decided to go back and ask Lin Moyu if there had been any changes in his cooperation with the demon empress. At this moment, a massive aura suddenly descended from the sky. The aura startled Meng Anwen and the others, but also felt extremely familiar. Bai Yiyuan's eyes flashed with brilliance, the old man is back. Didn't Emperor Di leave? Why is he back? Who cares, it's good that he's back, with the old man here, we don't have to bother Xiao Yu. Like the demon empress, Emperor Di was also a level 99 demigod. The two were enough to stand up to each other. With Emperor Di here, there was no need to fear the demon empress anymore. Emperor Di returned to the human world and secluded himself for half a year, but did not make much progress. He suddenly thought of the front-line battlefield, and it occurred to him that he was constantly fighting and constantly breaking through when he was young. He realized that he needed to fight, to use battle to help him break through. So he came to the abyss world, to the front line. Emperor Di did not stay in the army, but only used his aura to tell everyone of his arrival. AAA0 seeking fresh flowers AAAAA. Then he went alone and directly attacked the demon empress. A fierce battle unfolded. All professionals could feel the massive energy shaking in the distance. The world in the distance seemed like the end of the world. This was an extremely fierce battle, with Emperor Di and the demon empress fighting fiercely. The aftermath alone was enough to kill them. Even Meng Anwen and the others found it difficult to get close. The gap between high gods and demigods was very large. The difference between driving laws and controlling laws was great. The news of Emperor Di's return spread like wildfire. Emperor Di had guarded the human race for hundreds of years and had extremely strong prestige. His appearance greatly boosted the morale of the human race. Just when everyone thought that Emperor Di was enough to contain the demon empress, the battle that lasted for 2 whole days ended. Emperor Di retreated, and the demon empress's phantom reflected the heavens and the earth, roaring angrily. 0. The terrifying image of the demon empress conjured by Lilian attacked the human army. Emperor Di retreated, and no one in the human army could resist the demon empress, so they had to retreat again. Since the demon empress took action, the human race continued to retreat. The territory that took more than a year to conquer was completely lost in less than 2 months. After discussing, Meng Anwen and the others decided to go to Lin Moyu. It seemed that only Lin Moyu could deal with the Demon Empress. Meng Anwen left the abyss and rushed back to Shajing City as quickly as possible. In the manor, Meng Anwen met Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu had been staying in the small garden opened up behind the manor, comprehending the laws. After half a year of comprehension, he seemed to have gained something, but he was always short of the last bit. "Teacher, why are you here?" Lin Moyu had guessed that Meng Anwen would come. He knew that the Demon Empress had taken action, and the situation of the human race should not be good. Meng Anwen did not waste words and told him about the recent situation, and also mentioned the battle between Emperor Di and the Demon Empress, which resulted in a retreat. Lin Moyu was slightly stunned. Senior Emperor Di also lost. Meng Anwen nodded. After the old man returned from the deep space, his strength seemed to have improved, but he was still not as good as the Demon Empress. Lin Moyu was overjoyed. He did not expect Emperor Di to take action. Not only did Emperor Di take action, but he also lost. For his plan, it was simply a divine assist. Lin Moyu's expression remained unchanged. "Are the casualties of the army okay?" Meng Anwen sighed softly. "We saw the opportunity early and retreated quickly, so the casualties were not serious." "Xiao Yu, is there something wrong with your cooperation with the Demon Empress?" Lin Moyu nodded slightly. "There has indeed been a slight change." Chapter 863, Playing a Real Game, Stepping into Demigod. Lin Moyu did not tell Meng Anwen the truth this time. The fewer people who know about this play, the better. According to Meng Anwen, he knew that the Demon Empress did have a sense of propriety. She injured many people, but did not kill many. It had an impact on morale, but it did not form a fatal blow. Lin Moyu promised that he would go to the abyss in the next 2 days and fight the Demon Empress. After Meng Anwen left, Ning Yi and the other 3 surrounded him. Ning Yi took Lin Moyu's hand. "Is it okay to hide this from Grandpa Meng?" Ning Yi and the other 3 were clear about the play between Lin Moyu and the Demon Empress. Mo Yun was also a little worried. "Isn't it to sharpen the knife? But now that the morale of the human race has been beaten away, isn't this sharpening meaningless?" Lin Moyu smiled slightly and took out a large knife. His palm turned into golden iron, stroking the blade. The blade suddenly bloomed with a sharp aura, as if it had been polished. "The knife will become sharper after it is sharpened. But if you continue to sharpen it." Lin Moyu sharpened it a few more times. The blade became sharper and sharper, and then it cracked with a bang. Shu Han smiled and said, "Husband means that the knife should be sharpened, but there must also be a degree, otherwise it will be damaged." Lin Moyu smiled slightly. "Too much steel is easy to break. I admit that I thought too well at the beginning. This war went too smoothly. It did play a role in sharpening the knife at the beginning, but then it began to become blindly arrogant. And I also have selfish motives. This time, I plan to be selfish." As his strength increased and he came into contact with a larger world, his vision also broadened. Lin Moyu's mentality had undergone subtle changes. Regarding this world as a chessboard, Lin Moyu had gradually transformed from the identity of a chess piece to the identity of a chess player. He had a more macro view and knew better what he should do to obtain the greatest benefits. How to keep the human race always maintaining the most vigorous vitality, but not blindly arrogant. Lin Moyu thought a lot and knew what he should do. Perhaps there would be some casualties in the process. Just like sharpening a knife, it would always grind off those superficial knife shavings. These slight damages were unavoidable. Ning Yi and the other 3 could understand the meaning of Lin Moyu's words and could also understand Lin Moyu's thoughts. In the years since they got married, Lin Moyu had told them many things, broadening their horizons. The world one sees changes, and naturally, one's thoughts will change as well. Moreover, like a wife following her husband, they unconditionally support Lin Mo's actions. 2 days later, Lin Mo arrived at the abyss. Abyssal demons were engaged in battle with the human army. The demon emperor had also taken action, and the human army was retreating in defeat, with the situation being highly unfavorable. The morale of the human race was somewhat low. Although they tried their best to resist, they still felt somewhat inadequate. Lin Mo's arrival was very high profile, with a necromantic legion of over 1 million, charging over like a tsunami. Every member of the necromantic legion possessed the battle strength of a demigod. Demons fell like harvested crops, instantly suffering countless casualties. His appearance instantly changed the course of the battle. All the human warriors exclaimed in surprise. "It's General Lin. General Lin is here. General Lin is so powerful, his undead army is much stronger than the demons." Even the Demon King can't stop him, he'll be instantly killed. It's laughable that I thought we could compare to Lin Mo if we joined forces, it's truly laughable. Indeed laughable, we are no match for General Lin even if we are tied together. General Lin is truly the strongest of our human race, with him, why worry about the abyss not being pacified? Lin Mo felt the power of faith become stronger again. His appearance changed the battle situation, causing shock to everyone. The power of faith not only returned to its previous level, but was even stronger than before. Lin Mo's heart stirred slightly, many insights flooded his mind, and a wisp of the law of immortality appeared on the hand of his soul. This time, the law of immortality did not dissipate, but slowly spun on the small hand of the soul. The law of immortality seemed to have become his private property, with his own label. This was a sign of controlling the law. Lin Mo's heart beat violently twice, the power of faith. He did not expect that the power of faith would have such an effect. He had been unable to break through for a long time, just a little bit away from controlling the law, but with the help of the power of faith, he broke through the barrier. Lin Mo realized that the power of faith was really a good thing. Since that was the case, he would play the role completely. The more power of faith, the better. The Demon Emperor's phantom appeared in midair, and as agreed, the Demon Emperor attacked Lin Mo. The momentum was extremely grand, the energy surged, and the laws rumbled. The Demon Emperor's terrifying pressure swept out, and all human professionals were suppressed, becoming silent as cicadas in winter. Only Lin Mo was unaffected, and fought with the Demon Emperor. The undead army fought side by side with Lin Mo, besieging the Demon Emperor. The battle was real, not fake at all. At this moment, the Demon Emperor did not hold back at all. This was also agreed in advance, to make the false play real. The aftermath of the battle bombarded down, and all human professionals were injured, scaring them to retreat quickly. The undead army also arrived in time to resist the impact for the human army. General Lin is really too kind, fighting with the Demon Emperor, he even has to spare time to protect us. I used to think that General Lin was nothing more than this, I am really ashamed. Yes, I really want to dig a hole and crawl in, it's too embarrassing. I've decided, from now on, General Lin will be my idol, and my children and grandchildren will take General Lin as an example. Many people made vows, worshipping Lin Mo immensely. The power of faith increased again, reaching an unprecedented level. Various insights into the laws came one after another. A wisp of the law of immortality finally drilled into the hand of the soul. Lin Mo trembled all over, feeling that he had a fusion with the law, as if a part of it had merged into one. As this wisp of law merged into the soul, the power of the soul increased sharply. Lin Mo was radiant, completing the breakthrough in battle, and taking the opportunity to step into the demigod realm. After becoming a demigod, Lin Mo's combat power increased sharply. Even if he only controlled 1% of the law, its power was much stronger than before. His combat power increased sharply, and the battle with the Demon Emperor also came to an end. After a full-force confrontation, a large hole was blasted out in the sky. Behind the hole was the dark and deep endless void. Lin Mo returned from the void, appearing unharmed. But the Demon Emperor was nowhere to be found. Everyone who saw this scene knew that Lin Mo had won, and the Demon Emperor had been defeated. The demons also completely collapsed under the slaughter of the undead army. The human army finally reaped victory after consecutive defeats. 4.2 This victory was brought by Lin Mo, it was Lin Mo who turned the tide. This battle proved Lin Mo's strength, Lin Mo was even stronger than Emperor D. Lin Mo once again became a legend of the human race, becoming the strongest, invincible existence in the human race. When this news spread back to the human world, more and more people began to worship and admire Lin Mo. The power of faith became stronger and stronger. Lin Mo had already discovered a benefit of the power of faith, it could speed up his understanding of the laws. Lin Mo did not stay in the abyss world for long, and after saying hello to Meng Anwen and others, he returned to the human world. Meng Anwen also knew that the battle in the abyss world still had to be left to them. Lin Mo only solved the Demon Emperor for them, as for the other demons, they would still have to deal with them. Lin Mo could not protect them forever, and in the end, they still had to rely on themselves. Meng Anwen looked at the high-spirited human army, thoughtfully, I think, something is not right about this. Chapter 864 I'm about to break through. Meng Anwen's senses are very keen. After thinking about it again and again, he left the abyss world. The God Sha Tower weaved a teleportation array, taking him back to Shajing City. As soon as he arrived at Lin Mo's house, he saw Lin Mo standing in front of the manor. At this time, Lin Mo had already stepped into the demigod realm. Standing there motionless, he exuded a faint majesty. Teacher. Lin Mo's voice rang in Meng Anwen's ear, and that appearance made Meng Anwen feel that he seemed to be waiting for him. The next second, Lin Mo had already arrived in front of him. Lin Mo said with a smile, "Teacher, I know what you are here for." "You know I'm coming." Meng Anwen looked at him. His disciple was extremely intelligent. Many times, there was no need to speak at all, and Lin Mo could guess. Lin Mo nodded. "This play can be hidden from others, but it definitely cannot be hidden from you." Meng Anwen snorted lightly, with a look of dissatisfaction in his eyes. "Why did you hide it from me at the beginning?" Lin Mo said, "I just wanted to make the play more realistic, so the fewer people who knew, the better, but I will definitely tell you afterwards." Meng Anwen took a deep breath. He still knew Lin Mo's nature, and knew that Lin Mo would not do anything harmful to the human race. Since he wanted to stage this play, it must have its purpose. Lin Moyu invited Meng Anwen into the manor, respectfully made tea and poured water for him, before slowly saying, "There are two purposes for what I've done. Firstly, it's to suppress them a little. Sharpness is essential, but we can't be too arrogant." The teacher should have noticed it too. Meng Anwen hummed in agreement. He had indeed noticed it. As the war situation became more and more favorable, many people began to become arrogant, not taking the abyss demons seriously at all. They even called the ancestors of the human race incompetent. Lin Moyu said in a low voice, "This kind of atmosphere cannot be allowed to grow, so it needs to be suppressed. That's the first reason. The second is my personal motive. I need a special kind of power, called the power of faith. Actually, I obtained the power of faith a long time ago, but it has been continuously weakening in the last 6 months. This time, while I'm striking at them, I'm also seeking some benefits for myself." Lillian acted with restraint and shouldn't have caused any casualties. Lin Moyu was right. Lillian acted with restraint. Most of the human race only suffered injuries but didn't die. Injury isn't scary. Even if they lose an arm or a leg, they can grow back. Meng Anwen took a sip of tea. "Did you achieve your goal?" Lin Moyu nodded. "I did, and the effect is excellent. Teacher, you should be able to see it." After a long time, Meng Anwen sighed deeply. "You are." There was no blame in his words, but rather a sense of relief, relieved that Lin Moyu had truly grown up. Lin Moyu also knew that he had already jumped out of the chessboard of this world, from being a chess piece to becoming a chess player. Lin Moyu didn't speak. He had said what needed to be said, and he couldn't control what Meng Anwen thought. He believed that Meng Anwen would understand. Meng Anwen drank a few more cups of tea, and Lin Moyu respectfully filled his cup with both hands each time. After several cups of tea, Meng Anwen slowly stood up. "The teacher is going back to the abyss world." Lin Moyu nodded. "After this battle, I believe the abyss world can be pacified." Meng Anwen responded and teleported away. After seeing Meng Anwen off, Lin Moyu breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't want Meng Anwen and the others to misunderstand. It's good to have spoken openly now, at least there won't be any grudges. In the following time, Lin Moyu no longer cared about the war situation in the abyss world. As long as the demon emperor didn't act, the overall situation in the abyss world was settled. The abyss demons would be scattered and eventually completely annihilated. Although there were some flaws in the process, the human race's blade had been sharpened. From now on, the human race would take themselves as their faith, and the human race would have the motivation to become stronger. At least in 100 years, there wouldn't be any major changes. Unknowingly, Lin Moyu had paved the way forward for the entire human race. Strands of laws, like small fish, swam freely in the ocean of the soul. These were the undying laws that Lin Moyu controlled, and they had been uniquely labeled with Lin Moyu's mark. Don't underestimate these few strands of laws. The power they unleashed was several times greater than before. The strength of laws isn't determined by quantity, but by how much one understands and controls them. Lin Moyu currently controlled 1% of the laws, which was exactly the standard for a demigod. With the successful comprehension of the laws, Lin Moyu's soul power also soared, only one step away from level 99. Level 99 was the maximum level state for human race professionals, and also the limit of a demigod. Either they would be stuck here for life, or they could go one step further and reach the god tier level. However, it wasn't so easy to reach the god tier level in a small world. It was even more impossible to reach the god tier level in a fragmented world. Lin Moyu's life became very regular. Besides cultivation, it was spending time with his 4 beautiful wives. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry to cultivate, he adhered to the principle that haste makes waste. Finally, half a year later, Lin Moyu's soul level reached level 99. At the moment of soul advancement, Lin Moyu's level also increased accordingly. He reached level 99 very smoothly. The talent giant tree was constantly feeding back soul power. As long as Lin Moyu could raise his soul level, raising his level and replenishing soul power were easy things to do. In these 6 months, his understanding of the undying laws had gradually deepened, and the undying laws within his soul were gradually increasing, heading towards the 2% mark. Lin Moyu checked his attributes and couldn't help but reveal a slight smile. Name: Lin Moyu. Class: Undying Saint King Unique. Level: 99,0000. Agility: 3,750,000. Spirit: 24099995550. Constitution: 4,836,900. At this time, his spirit attribute was only 1 step away from 10 million. Lin Moyu didn't equip the Monarch Scepter, he wanted to break through to the God tier level entirely with his own attributes. This was the best way to break through. Using formations, or using equipment, to meet attribute requirements would be a lower level approach. Since he had already taken the most difficult and strongest path, he should of course use the best method for breakthrough. Not relying on external objects, but relying entirely on himself. Now that his spirit attribute was only a little short, as he continued to comprehend the laws, his soul could be further enhanced, and his spirit would also increase with his soul. Breaking through to 10 million attributes was no problem. 3 months later, the abyss had been pacified by the human race. Like the dragon race, now there were only some scattered demons left in the abyss, and they could no longer cause any big waves. The human race's army had withdrawn, leaving only some small troops still in the abyss. The abyss world, which had been opposed to the human race for thousands of years, had finally come to an end. In the abyss world, the abyss fire, which had been burning all year round, was already very weak. The demon emperor in the most core area disappeared without a trace, and so did the demon emperor. The death of the demons had caused great damage to the abyss world. This fragment world had become weak. 3 months later, Lin Moyu came to Antares. I'm going to break through. Chapter 865, Breaking Through to God Tier, Lord of the World. Antares seemed to be dozing off, and reluctantly woke up when he heard Lin Moyu's voice. His eyes narrowed into slits. Then break through, you don't need to report to me. Lin Moyu asked, is there anything else I need to pay attention to? Antares replied casually, it's just breaking through to the God tier level, what's there to pay attention to? Are you sure? Lin Moyu was a little suspicious. A sly look flashed in Antares' eyes, making Lin Moyu realize that things weren't that simple. But Antares still said, sure, definitely, and absolutely sure. It's just breaking through to the God tier level, what's the big deal? Lin Moyu snorted, I'll give you one more chance, think carefully before answering. It's so noisy, I haven't had a good night's sleep since I met you. Antares shook his head and shouted loudly, when you break through to the God tier level, you will enter the core of the world and see the origin of the world. You use your soul to subdue the origin of the world, and you can become the Lord of the world. The whole process is no different from you subduing Gu Leda. It's just a small matter, and it's not like you haven't been to the world's core. What's there to ask? Where is the most basic trust between humans and dragons? You've disappointed this dragon too much. Antares chattered on for a long time. Lin Moyu snorted softly, too lazy to pay attention to this guy. It was clearly such an important matter, yet he didn't tell me. Is this guy trustworthy? Lin Moyu realized that Antares had already been corrupted by him. I'll come find you after I break through. I hope I can succeed. Antares grunted, with your kid's soul quality, what difficulty could there be? It's a sure thing. In the human world, Lin Moyu chose a deserted island. The surrounding hundreds of miles were all ocean. He didn't know how much commotion breaking through to the transcendent god level would cause. After all, the human race hadn't produced a transcendent god for thousands of years. Lin Moyu stood alone on the island, making his final preparations. Strands of laws wandered through his soul. Lin Moyu had a feeling that he was getting closer and closer to mastering 2% of the laws. His mental power attribute had already exceeded 10 million points, possessing the foundation to become a transcendent god. Now, all that was lacking was the law. Unconsciously, Lin Moyu recalled everything he had experienced since he began his job change. Scenes flashed before his eyes like a movie replay. The main reason why the human race hadn't been able to produce a transcendent god for so many years was due to the ancient war. The war had almost exhausted the world's power, and the world's will had fallen asleep. Without the support of the world's power, it was difficult for the human race to break through to the transcendent god level. Half-step transcendent god was the limit. In addition, the abyss world and the dragon world, these two bloodsuckers, constantly extracted the world's power. Until now, the entire world had not been able to fully recover. Last time, Lin Moyu sent a portion of the refined world's power into the world's origin, which allowed this world to recover somewhat. Hopefully, after devouring the two fragment worlds, the world can return to normal A diaresis. Lin Moyu's body began to glow, becoming more and more dazzling. The undying law emanated from his soul, like a wisp of mist, shrouding Lin Moyu within it. Lin Moyu felt as if he heard a cracking sound, and thunder seemed to ring in his ears. Something had been shattered. The previously mastered undying law suddenly increased by a large margin, from 1% to 2%. It seemed like not much, but it was actually a doubling. Every additional point of mastery of the law was a world-shaking change. At the same time that the law broke through the bottleneck, the soul once again began to grow rapidly. The soul level also jumped from level 99 to a new world, a world belonging to transcendent gods. After the soul level was raised, the soul power also began to grow rapidly, following closely behind. The talent giant tree spat out all the power it had recently accumulated. Soul power and soul level were like a pair of good friends, one in front and one behind, chasing each other. Lin Moyu felt as if he had entered a completely new world. The power of his whole body was soaring, and all his attributes were rising crazily. Transcendent God level and half-step Transcendent God level were definitely two different levels. The gap between the two was astonishingly large. Even if 10 half-step Transcendent Gods besieged an ordinary Transcendent God, they would be defeated without victory. Unless, like the Undead Legion, they combined the power of thousands of half-step Transcendent Gods to besiege and kill, could they kill one? Lin Moyu subconsciously checked his attributes. He found that all his attributes had disappeared. Remembering what Antares had once said, attributes were no longer important after the Transcendent God level. What was important was the degree of understanding of the laws, and the level and quality of the soul. The stronger the law, the stronger the strength. The stronger the soul, the stronger the strength. There was no primary or secondary distinction between the two. A true powerhouse could allow the soul and the law to advance side by side. Lin Moyu knew that he was at a disadvantage in this regard, because of the existence of the Great World Rune, his laws could not be integrated into spells. Even if the spells came with laws, they were still not as good as the ones he comprehended. Fortunately, his spells were all stellar-level custom spells, with sufficient strength and an astonishing number. In addition, his talent was extremely strong, enough to compete with the powerhouses of the Great World. Lin Moyu felt the constantly increasing power, and his heart was slightly excited. A will descended from heaven and earth. Lin Moyu felt that this was the will of the world. The will of the world came with goodwill, seemingly congratulating Lin Moyu on breaking through to the Transcendent God level. Then, Lin Moyu's consciousness entered a magical space. That was the core of the world, the magical place where the origin of the world was stored. Last time he came, Lin Moyu left a trace of aura here, expressing his goodwill. Until now, this trace of aura still existed. At that time, his strength was not enough to gain the approval of the world's origin, but today was different. Today, he had already become a transcendent god and possessed sufficient qualifications. Soul power, like a stream, gently wrapped the origin of the world. Then, he imprinted his soul aura on it. The origin of the world surprisingly did not resist, allowing Lin Moyu to do as he pleased. The process was completely different from the last time Gyuleda acknowledged its master. Lin Moyu felt the weakness of the world's will, and also felt somewhat aggrieved. In the ancient war, the world's will was severely injured and fell asleep, and the world's power was almost exhausted, and it had not been able to recover. Until Lin Moyu obtained the core of another world and extracted the world's power to give it to it, it began to slowly recover. Lin Moyu expressed his goodwill and received its approval. I 1/2 don't worry, I will help you and help you recover. I won't let anyone bully you again. I am a member of this world. I was born here, grew up here, and am a descendant of this world. We are one. Bullying you is the same as bullying me. Lin Moyu continued to express his goodwill. He knew that the world's will could understand his meaning. The whole process was extremely smooth. The world's will did not resist at all, until Lin Moyu completed the imprint on the world's origin. At the moment the imprint was completed, Lin Moyu felt that the entire world was under his control. Everything in this small world could be manipulated by him. If he wanted a mountain to appear somewhere, a mountain would appear. Where there was to be an ocean, there would be a vast world. If Lin Moyu wanted to know what was happening in a certain corner of the world, he could see it directly. Everything that happened in the entire world could not escape his perception. This feeling was extremely wonderful, and Lin Moyu was somewhat infatuated. Is this the feeling of being the lord of the world? After becoming the lord of the world, he once again felt the weakness of the world's will, and the depletion of the world's power. Lin Moyu smiled, let's take you to eat something good first. Chapter 866, Reconstructing the World. The thought that Lin Moyu conveyed made the world's will feel happy. The world's will was like a child, and it also fed back its joy. For the world's will, the most wonderful thing was naturally to devour other worlds. The Abyss world and the Dragon world, the two fragment worlds, were the most wonderful food. Since the day of Advent, these two fragment worlds had been constantly absorbing the power of this world. The little bit of world power that had been recovered with great difficulty was mostly absorbed by them. In the instinct of the world's will, there was hatred for these two parasite-like worlds. Hatred was hatred, but the world's will only had instinct and no real thought. Without anyone manipulating it, it would not actively attack the two parasites. Now it was different. Now, Lin Moyu had obtained the recognition of the world's origin and became the lord of the world. It could be said that his will was the world's will, and his thoughts could be transformed into the actions of this world. The power of the world surged and rushed towards the two fragment worlds. Fragment worlds had incomplete rules and needed to rely on complete worlds to survive. Compared to a complete small world, fragment worlds were pitifully weak. What's more, the creatures in the two fragment worlds had basically been killed. Without creatures, the fragment worlds became even weaker. Lin Moyu manipulated the power of the world and could easily devour them. In the human world, in the meta battlefield, and in the ancient battlefield, countless people saw terrifying dark clouds churning in the sky. Carrying wind, rain, thunder, and lightning, they spread overwhelmingly. The whole world darkened, the sunlight was blocked, as if night had fallen. Black clouds swept across the entire world. The weak only felt that it was going to rain, and it was normal for the weather to change. The strong, however, had different opinions. Antares opened his eyes. I knew it, that brat would definitely succeed. There was no difficulty at all. In a corner of the world, Lillian looked at the rolling black clouds in the sky. She could feel the terrifying power contained within. That was the power of the world, majestic, profound, and with a strong sense of inclusiveness. He succeeded, Lillian said softly. In her palm, a palace was slowly rotating. Green flames burned outside the palace, and faint roars could be heard. This palace was the missing Demon Emperor Palace. Lillian left, taking the Demon Emperor Palace with her. Meng Anwen and the others also felt the unusual aura. These black clouds are extremely unusual. Could something else be about to happen again? No matter what, it's always right for us to be prepared. A group of god-level powerhouses began to become cautious. Too many things had happened in the world in recent years, and they really needed to be careful. The cave door in the Creation God Academy opened, and Emperor D walked out. His aura had changed faintly, and he was a little stronger than before. His knowledge was different from that of Meng Anwen and the others. He could feel the immense power in the black clouds. He vaguely felt that something was about to happen, but he couldn't be sure what it was. However, thinking of Lin Moyu, he felt that as long as Lin Moyu was in this world, there would be no problems. The black clouds spread out from above the world, quickly enveloping the two fragment worlds, and began to devour them. Lin Moyu saw that the origin of the world was shining brightly, devouring the two worlds, making the origin of the world stronger. Lin Moyu saw that under the Abyss world, there were a large number of formations hidden. These formations were linked together, almost covering most of the Abyss world. With his understanding of formations, if these formations were activated together, they would be enough to completely destroy the Abyss world. The power erupted from detonating the fragment world would be enough to kill a transcendent god of the 4th or 5th rank. Lin Moi understood that this was Lillian's last resort, detonating the entire fragment world. What a crazy woman, Lin Moi couldn't help but sigh. Lillian was indeed the cruelest woman he had ever met. She would do anything for her own survival. As the world was devoured, a large number of true spirit imprints flew over. The true spirit imprint was the imprint left in the origin of the world after a creature was born in this world. As long as it was a creature of this world, its true spirit imprint would be in the origin of the world. A large number of true spirit imprints from the fragment world poured in and merged with the true spirit imprints of this world. Lin Moi found the true spirit imprints of Ning Yi and the other 3 in it. He separated these 4 imprints from the origin of the world and collected them. Then, Lin Moi found Lillian's true spirit imprint and collected it. As long as the true spirit imprint was taken out, one could truly break away from this world. Lin Moi did not take away his own true spirit imprint. He was the lord of the world, the master of this world, and it was impossible for him to let himself break away. After devouring the 2 fragment worlds, the power of the world began to become abundant. In Lin Moi's vision, these 2 fragment worlds had disappeared, and everything inside them had been integrated into his own world. His own world had also become much larger as a result. The humans who were previously in the Abyss world and the Dragon world were all sent back to the human world. The remaining dragons and demons were instantly killed under Lin Moi's will, leaving not a single one. At this point, all the mixed blood dragons and Abyss demons who invaded this world back then were wiped out. The meta battlefield is no longer necessary. With Lin Moi's will, the meta battlefield underwent a great change. All 9 fortresses of the Divine Summer Empire inside were instantly transferred back to the human world. The human professionals who were still adventuring in the meta battlefield also returned to the human world. With the sudden change of scenery, these people stared at each other, their eyes full of disbelief. They had no idea what had happened. Even the soldiers in the fortresses were panicked. Such a thing had never happened before. Meng Anwen and the others also received the information. The 9 fortresses left the meta battlefield at the same time and returned to the human world. What great power was needed to do this? In their understanding, even a transcendent god could not do it. Everyone became more nervous, feeling that the world seemed to be about to undergo a great change. After moving away the humans and the fortresses, Lin Moi could unscrupulously begin to reorganize the meta battlefield. The meta battlefield did not truly disappear, but became a huge secret realm. In this secret realm, there were many copies and many monsters. From level 30 to level 80, one could find corresponding leveling spots inside. Lin Moi set up an entrance to enter this secret realm. Then, Lin Moi saw some hidden spaces, all independent spaces attached to the world. These independent spaces were not even fragment worlds. They only possessed some special powers. For example, the bloody land where Yan Guangsheng had lived for many years, as well as the corpse realm, and some other places. Most of the independent spaces had no value, only a few useful spaces were set up with entrances, which could be used for leveling. But he had other ideas for the corpse realm. Finally, there are only the ancient battlefield and the desolate void left. The ancient battlefield was very special. Although it was also attached to the main world, it had its own independent system. It was a complete system, more complete than the fragment world. It was not attached to the main world and could exist independently. Even as the lord of the world, Lin Moi could not completely see through the ancient battlefield. The ancient battlefield not only had a large number of transcendent god-level monsters, but also existences like Antares. After thinking it over and over again, Lin Moi did not attack the ancient battlefield. Instead, some passages were set up to allow people to more easily enter the upper and lower layers of the immemorial battlefield. This place has also become a secret realm that can be used for leveling up. Finally, there is the Barren Void. Lin Mo originally didn't know what the Barren Void was, but now that he has become the world master, Lin Mo has truly seen the full picture of the Barren Void. It is actually a huge continent. Chapter 867. 10 days later, I'll be waiting for you at the exit. In the World Master's vision, outside the world, a continent of tens of thousands of miles floats in the void. The continent is very, very close to the world, but it doesn't make contact. It floats there alone. Lin Mo knew that in the ancient war, the desolate beasts and the Zerg suddenly appeared. They entered the deep space through this continent. Later, the connection between the continent and the deep space was broken. Since then, it has become extremely difficult for the desolate beasts in the barren void to enter the deep space again. Lin Mo saw that there were still many desolate beasts living in the barren void, and there were also several desolate beast kings. These desolate beasts can only be killed with laws, and ordinary attacks are useless against them. You shouldn't exist, Lin Mo said softly, and the power of the world boiled again, heading towards the barren void. In the human world, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled, and lightning tore through the sky. The power of the world carried Lin Mo's immortal law, expressing Lin Mo's angry will. Control the law, put your own label on the law, and integrate your own will. With Lin Mo's anger, the killing intent in the immortal law became even stronger. The power of the world quickly surrounded the barren void, and it started to rain in the barren void. Every drop of rain was made up of the immortal law, carrying a strong aura of death. The desolate beasts died one after another in the rain of laws. Even the desolate beast kings only lasted a few seconds longer. In the blink of an eye, the desolate beasts in the barren void had been wiped out. The corpses rotted and merged into the earth. Then the law was transformed, and the death energy of the immortal law turned into vitality. The vitality of the entire barren void was activated, and the previously rotten desolate beasts provided nutrients to the earth. The barren void was transformed into a vibrant land in the blink of an eye. The power of the world rolled and swallowed it, replenishing itself. The barren void was also swallowed and became a part of the world. The world expanded again and became stronger. The origin of the world shone brightly, and the power of the world was also much stronger than before. Although it has not yet returned to its peak, it is much better than before. The stronger the power of the world, the stronger this world, and the higher the possibility of giving birth to geniuses. Lin Mo believed that in the years to come, as the power of the world further recovered, more and more geniuses would be born. Becoming a super god is no longer a dream. And now people like Meng Anwen will also benefit. Originally, with the talent of Meng Anwen and others, being a demigod was already the limit. Now there is hope of breaking through to become a super god. All changes will be subtle and will take place silently. After doing all this, Lin Mo clapped his hands and let out a long breath. It's finally done. In more than a day, he drastically transformed his world. I believe that it will not be long before people can discover the changes. The volume of the world is at least twice as large as before, with more resources and more copies, which can cultivate more strong people. The consciousness was withdrawn and returned to reality. The power has stopped increasing. Stepping into the super god level, Lin Mo felt as if he had inexhaustible power. The combat power has been greatly improved. Checking his soul world, the soul has improved in terms of quality, level and power. The quality has touched the peak of the third grade soul, and the original glazed shell is becoming more and more transparent and more like crystal. More jade-colored brilliance has also appeared on the soul, mixed with the golden brilliance. The soul level of the first level of the super god level, and the soul power of the first level of the super god level, are far stronger than before. In addition to being happy, Lin Mo also felt a little strange. His talent giant tree and spell star seemed to be unaffected. Compared with level 99, there is almost no major change. This shouldn't be the case. Something is strange. Lin Mo was a little puzzled, and suddenly looked up. A stream of light came from far to near, and landed in front of him at an alarming speed. Lillian was still wearing a light yellow dress. With her stunning and beautiful appearance, she was extremely beautiful. Give it to me. Lillian stretched out her white hand and asked Lin Mo for something. A faint light lit up on Lin Mo's finger, and a wisp of imprint flew out from his fingertip and landed in Lillian's palm. Lillian took back her true spirit imprint, and her whole body relaxed. Her plan was successful, and the last trace of worry finally disappeared. A different aura rose from Lillian's body, and her power began to rise steadily. Lillian had already reached the peak of the demigod level, only a step away from becoming a super god. Restricted by the fragment world, she has been unable to break through. Fortunately, half of her demon bloodline made her lifespan long enough to survive these thousands of years. Now that the abyss world has been swallowed and the true spirit has returned. AAA0 ask for Flowersa AAAAA. All of Lillian's worries disappeared, and she naturally completed the breakthrough and entered the super god level. Lillian asked, when are you going to leave? Lin Mo calculated the time, in 10 days. Lillian nodded, I'll wait for you at the exit then. Okay. In addition to taking back the true spirit imprint for Lillian and taking her away, it was also part of the cooperation between the two. Lillian has completed part of what she promised, and Lin Mo will naturally not break his promise and will complete the next part according to the agreement. Besides, now that he is leaving, he can't rest assured leaving her in this world. With Lillian's strength and personality, it would be very troublesome if she had any thoughts of revenge. Moreover, Lillian had done things that were kind to the human race, and Lin Mo could not kill her. Lin Mo returned to the manor, and Ning Yi and others were already waiting. Lin Mo didn't hide anything from them, and told them clearly what he was going to do. Therefore, they knew that the previous drastic changes in the world were caused by Lin Mo. Seeing Lin Mo, the four asked in unison, "Did husband succeed?" Lin Mo nodded, "It's done." As he said that, he sent the true spirit imprints belonging to the four to them one by one. The true spirit imprint was just an inconspicuous ray of light, and it naturally merged into their bodies. The four felt a lightness in their bodies, as if something had happened, but also as if nothing had happened. The departure of the true spirit mark from the world and its return to the main body had no impact on them at present. At most, they could not be tracked through this world. But in the future, once they were to break through to true God, the impact would be significant. According to Antares, anyone who achieves true God will inevitably retrieve their true spirit mark. Lin Moyu was merely doing it for them in advance. "I plan to leave in 10 days. In the next few days, you can gather with your families again. Maybe, in the future." Lin Moyu didn't continue, but the others understood his meaning. Once they entered the coffin of slumber, they wouldn't know when they would wake up next. Perhaps it would be hundreds of years later, or perhaps thousands of years later. By then, things would have changed, and their families would be long gone. None of them regretted their initial decision, and they each returned home to spend time with their families, their last gathering. The manor became quiet, so quiet you could hear a pin drop. With a thought, Lin Moyu disappeared without a trace. Chapter 868, Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. The corpse whirled, lightning still flashing, the stench of decay still so strong. As the world master, he could go to any corner of the world with just a thought. The corpse world was just an independent space attached to the world, not even a fragment world. Looking at the valley not far ahead, memories flashed through his mind. Here, he encountered a life or death crisis for the first time. And also witnessed the beliefs of the human race for the first time. The strong will of the human race's powerhouses was not erased by time even after death. The human race's powerhouses protected him with their will. It was from that moment that Lin Moyu made up his mind. Not only would he protect the human race, but he would also make the human race stronger. He did it. Now, he came to the corpse world to complete another matter. He didn't know if it would succeed, but he had to try to find out. The dark valley, surrounded by several high mountains, contained many powerhouses who had turned into corpses. Lin Moyu walked into the valley, and powerhouses in the high mountains immediately awakened, their astonishing auras rising. Shadows rushed towards Lin Moyu, the stench of decay assaulting his nostrils. Once, these terrifying powerhouses were so unattainable. Now, in Lin Moyu's eyes, they were pitifully weak. With a slight thought, a ball of white light lit up on those shadows, rendering them unable to move. Stellar level spell, Bone Prison. He didn't use spell linkage, but only used Bone Prison separately to trap them. With Lin Moyu's current strength, these beings who weren't even god level could be trapped for a very long time. As long as Lin Moyu didn't release them, they would never be able to break free. More shadows rushed over, even stronger than before. The whole process was exactly the same as when Lin Moyu came here last time. No matter how many came, they would be trapped in place, unable to move. Until no more shadows came, and there were no longer any corpses in the surrounding mountains. Lin Moyu could feel the breath of life from these corpses. That was the breath of life from their souls. Their bodies had died, but their souls had not completely died. Lin Moyu gently pointed his finger, and strands of undead laws flew out, landing on the corpses that were not of the human race. Those who had already turned into corpses quickly began to rot. This time, they had no possibility of resurrection, it was true death. Perhaps true death was a kind of liberation for them. Then the remaining ones were the few powerhouses of the human race. Among them was a god-level powerhouse, and several who were not god-level. The undead laws flew out again, this time showing the side of life. A trace of vitality in the soul was activated by the laws, showing vigorous vitality under the nourishment of the laws. The soul gained new life, and the last remaining trace of vitality became the source of life. Through the laws, Lin Moyu felt that the other party's soul was entangled by some kind of law. It was these laws that made the soul immortal, and also trapped the soul here forever, while also causing the body to rot, making them live in a state worse than death. The forbidden technique from back then was very evil, truly making people unable to die peacefully. The undead laws were very strong, not only triggering powerful vitality, but also dispelling the laws that trap the soul. The majestic vitality spread from the soul as the source, towards the body. The soul began to recover from the remnant soul, gradually becoming stronger. The body also began to recover, the rotting skin was falling off, and new flesh was growing. The breath of life became stronger, and everything was developing in a good direction. Lin Moyu suddenly stopped. He found that the newly reborn body showed signs of rotting again. Not because of the forbidden technique, but because of time. He realized that he had overlooked something, he had overlooked time. These people were all figures from hundreds of years ago, and with their level of strength, it was impossible for them to have lived until now. Because of the forbidden technique, they existed in a special way, but in fact they should have died long ago. If they were not disturbed, they could continue to exist, for a long time. The remnant soul would still be trapped in the body, until it truly collapsed. But now Lin Moyu dispelled the forbidden technique, allowing the soul and body to recover. Similarly, time also played its due role. The time that had passed had to be repaid now. Lin Moyu sighed softly. If he could control the laws of time and reverse time, perhaps he could save them. But now it seemed that he was powerless. I thought too well. There are always many helplessness in life, and Lin Moyu is not omnipotent. In this situation, he was willing but unable. Suddenly, the other party's soul vibrated, and a thought came. Kill me, kill me, kill me. This thought was very clear, and extremely strong. He was actually asking him to kill him. Lin Moyu fully understood his meaning, and sighed, I understand. He wanted to be free from suffering, no longer wanting to live like this, not even for a second. Lin Moyu couldn't save them now, all he could do for them was to send them to liberation. The undead laws instantly completed the transformation from life to death. The body completely rotted, only the soul still remained. Reaching out, he summoned the soul. Anything else to say? Thank you. The soul conveyed its gratitude to Lin Moyu once more. Death, to them, was not pain, but liberation. The soul dissipated in Lin Moyu's hand, utterly ceasing to exist. Subsequently, Lin Moyu received the same answer from others. No one wished to exist in such a manner, all desiring death for release. In the corpse realm, a heavy rain began to fall. Rain had been a constant in the corpse realm, but this was different. This rain was saturated with the aura of death. Countless corpses crumbled and perished in the rain. The undying law cleansed the corpse realm, purging its filth and eliminating the effects of forbidden techniques. Lin Moyu felt helpless, unable to save those within, only capable of granting them release. Time is merciless. Before attaining eternal life, death awaits everyone. Even if one could live for 100,000 years, that day would still arrive. Throughout all the great worlds, countless powerhouses strive forward in pursuit of elusive eternal life. The undying law thoroughly cleansed the entire corpse realm, subsequently transforming into vitality, initiating the gestation of new life. The sky, somber for hundreds of years, once again saw light. The valley was no longer dark, light shone in from beyond the realm, even bringing a hint of warmth. Lin Moyu personally witnessed a blade of grass sprout from the soil, commencing its fragile and brief existence. Arriving at the valley's center, there was a teleportation array leading to the imperial palaces underground. For many years, the Dongfang family had steadfastly guarded the corpse realm, never leaving. Lin Moyu did not activate the teleportation array, instead directly appearing within the imperial palace, before Dongfang Yi. Dongfang Yi was occupied with official duties, completely unaware of Lin Moyu's arrival. State Lord Dongfang, Lin Moyu called out softly, startling Dongfang Yi, nearly causing him to drop his brush. Upon seeing it was Lin Moyu, he regained his composure, forcing a dry laugh. Divine General Lin, what brings you here? Lin Moyu found it amusing. How could Dongfang Yi, as a dignified state lord, be so timid? Moreover, Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes slightly, understanding the situation. So it's Her Highness the Princess. The person before his eyes was not Dongfang Yi, but Dongfang Yao. Dongfang Yao wore a special mask, transforming her appearance into that of Dongfang Yi, and coupled with Dongfang Yi's clothes, it was impossible for most to tell the difference. But to deceive Lin Moyu, she was still far from capable. Chapter 869, Unmatched in Causing Trouble. Being recognized, Dongfang Yao felt somewhat awkward. She hastily changed her clothes, reverting to her original appearance before returning to Lin Moyu's side. Lin Moyu smiled slightly. State Lord Dongfang has chosen you as his successor, correct? Dongfang Yao nodded. Father wanted me to try familiarizing myself with state affairs, but to avoid gossip, I disguised myself as him. Understandable, Lin Moyu nodded. Standing before Lin Moyu, Dongfang Yao felt inexplicably nervous. Given Lin Moyu's status, Princess Dongfang Yao was insignificant. Not just her, even Dongfang Yi was insignificant. Lin Moyu was now the uncrowned king of the human race's world, his position supreme. Even the lofty Emperor Di was not his equal. Dongfang Yao did not dare to question Lin Moyu's sudden arrival, instead forcing a smile, cautiously asking, Divine General Lin, would you like to sit for a while? I will call father over. Lin Moyu shook his head. I'm here to find you, come with me to Apothecary Shu's apothecary. Dongfang Yao was taken aback, he was actually here to find her. Realizing something, Dongfang Yao's eyes widened in shock, she covered her mouth, nearly exclaiming, her beautiful face flushed red. Divine General Lin, are you saying, you have a way to save my mother? Lin Moyu nodded, I should be able to. Thank you, Divine General Lin. Dongfang Yao trembled with excitement, her voice wavering. Saving her mother had always been her greatest wish, and now that wish could finally be realized. Dongfang Yao excitedly said, I'll go tell father the good news. Tell him later. Lin Moyu waved his hand, and he and Dongfang Yao vanished without a trace. In this world, Lin Moyu possessed supreme authority. He teleported Dongfang Yao to Apothecary Shu's apothecary. The air here was filled with the fragrance of herbs, invigorating the spirit with a single whiff. There were no guards in the apothecary, and no one in the human race dared to cause trouble for Apothecary Shu. The two went straight in, arriving at the apothecary's inner hall. Here, they saw some apprentices. Upon seeing Lin Moyu and Dongfang Yao, the apprentices all put down their tasks, their faces lighting up with excitement. Lin Moyu was now an idol to all humans, and few would not recognize him. Divine General Lin. Heavens, Divine General Lin is actually here. Why would Divine General Lin come here, and with Princess Yao, could it be? Ignoring the sounds around her, Dongfang Yao led Lin Moyu to the place where her mother was sealed. Lin Moyu examined the area, noticing Dongfang Yao's mother was in acceptable condition. Although Apothecary Shu could not resolve the corpse poison, he had slowed its spread considerably. More than a decade had passed, and the poison was still contained within the flesh, not yet invading the soul. Even if it had invaded the soul, Lin Moyu could still save her. As long as it hadn't been hundreds or thousands of years. He flicked out a strand of the undying law carrying vigorous vitality, quickly dispelling the laws within the corpse poison. The wounds caused by the corpse poison healed at a visible rate. Dongfang Yao was shocked once again, it was that simple. But the wounds had vanished, leaving her no choice but to believe. Lin Moyu said softly, you can handle the rest, I'm leaving. By the time Dongfang Yao heard Lin Moyu's words, Lin Moyu had already disappeared. Dongfang Yao didn't even have time to thank him. Lin Moyu had no interest in watching their mother-daughter reunion. He entered the ancient battlefield, where he could no longer teleport at will. The ancient battlefield was independent of the world, with its own rules. Lin Moyu, as the world's master, could only abide by the rules. Fortunately, he had the dragon scale from Antares, making travel relatively convenient. Olden, I'm planning to revive a few gods, Lin Moyu said to Antares. Antares narrowed his eyes, do you know what changes will occur after the gods are revived? Lin Moyu had considered this issue, the revival of the gods would inevitably affect this world. Originally, the world only had the human race as a force, and now there would be an additional force belonging to the gods. If the two forces clashed, it might plunge the world into chaos once more. Lin Mo was thinking, I will find a place for the gods to live, separating them from humans, minimizing contact between them, and adding some restrictions. It shouldn't be a big problem. Antares hummed in agreement, let me tell you something. I'm all ears. Lin Mo smiled slightly, listening attentively. Antares organized his thoughts. Most of the gods fell in ancient times. Only a few went into slumber, barely surviving. Gods are naturally conceived by the world, and they consume a lot of world power to recover. But at that time, there was little world power left. If they returned to the main world to sleep, the world power might be completely absorbed by them. So, most of the gods chose the eternal battlefield as their place of slumber. Although the eternal battlefield also contains world power, not much can be absorbed by them. It will be very difficult for them to recover, and they may never have a chance to recover. Lin Mo asked, did they know this? Of course, they know. Antares' words deeply touched Lin Mo. Knowing that it would be difficult to recover, and even possibly die. The gods still chose not to harm their world. Gods are children born from the world, and their love for the world is no less than that of the human race. Lin Mo understood why Antares was telling him this. He was worried about which side he would stand on if conflicts arose between gods and humans in the future. Lin Mo valued friendship, and Antares knew this very well. So, he was afraid that Lin Mo would be in a dilemma in the future. Lin Mo smiled, thank you, trust me, I can handle it. 633 inches. Antares knew that Lin Mo had made a decision. When are you planning to go out? In 9 days. Having spent a day in the corpse realm, there were 9 days left of the 10-day period agreed upon with the Demon Emperor. Antares said, before you leave, remember to take the Godslayer fortress. Even if you don't use it to fight, you can use it as a means of transportation. With Lin Mo's current strength, he could already drive the Godslayer fortress. Even if he couldn't exert the full combat power of the Godslayer fortress, dealing with some super-god level beings would be easy. As for using it as a means of transportation, Lin Mo asked strangely, why do I need transportation? Antares chuckled, you'll understand when you go out. Just take it with you, I won't trick you. Also, you should be careful after you go out. You've now offended the Star Giant Tree, the Zerg, the Wild Beast Clan, the Shadow Clan. Oh, and the Stone Branch of the Elemental Giant Dragons. You can cause so much trouble before leaving the small world. No one can match your ability to cause trouble. I have to admire you. Anyway, be low-key after you go out, and stay in the human race first, understand? The big world is not like the small world, it's too dangerous. One careless mistake and you'll lose your life. Lin Mo understood this, don't worry, I will be very low-key. Antares rolled his eyes at him. He didn't quite believe that this guy would be low-key. Chapter 870, Reviving the Gods, Always Repaying Kindness. Lin Mo once suspected that the lower space of the eternal battlefield was a graveyard of gods. Now it seems that it is indeed the case. The surviving gods did not return to the main world after the war but chose to stay in the lower space. This was their own choice, a choice made to protect the main world. It can be considered a kind of sacrifice. But even for gods, survival is an instinct. They chose to sleep, waiting for a hope. Perhaps this hope was very slim, and perhaps it would not be realized even after thousands of years, when they all died in their sleep. Among the many gods, the Kunlun god was an exception. The Kunlun god and his wife returned to the human world to sleep. Although they were absorbing the power of the world, they were giving back more. The Kunlun god provided the human race with a large number of weapons and equipment, making a great contribution to the human race. Spreading his wings of the undead, Lin Mo plunged into the god dragon sea and quickly found the water god's palace. The water god's palace remained unchanged, with water elements continuously pouring into the water god's palace from the azure dragon sea. The water elements were also mixed with some power of laws, but it was not strong. The water elements could only maintain the palace and could not help the water god recover. The best nourishment for a god to recover is the power of the world. Of course, it's not just world power that is needed. The water god self froze in a huge block of ice, dignified, elegant, and beautiful. The water god faintly exuded a holy aura, making it impossible to have any blasphemous thoughts. Lin Mo waved out a law of undeath, which drilled into the ice. Along with the law of undeath, there was also a surge of world power. Now that the power of the world was recovering, using a little would not have any impact on the world. The law of undeath carried a strong vitality, and its effect was like the law of life, quickly igniting the water god's vitality. Coupled with the power of the world, the water god began to recover. The ice melted, and the water god slowly landed on the ground. Accompanied by a faint moan, the water god woke up again. "We meet again, you." The water god's eyes suddenly changed, blooming with a dazzling smile. "Congratulations, you have become the lord of the world." There was no jealousy in her exclamation. The water god's character was as gentle as water, just like her divinity. Lin Mo said, "How do you feel now?" The water god felt her condition. "Very good, your law is very magical, it has repaired my divine soul. In addition to this power of the world, my godhead has been activated. I don't think I need to continue to sleep." With the divine soul repaired and the godhead activated, the water god's injuries were basically healed, so she naturally didn't need to continue to sleep. Lin Mo's idea was correct, and the method was also effective. The law of undeath has two sides, and the side representing life is no less than the law of life. Lin Mo smiled, "It's good that you're okay. I want to resurrect all the other gods, what do you think?" The water god showed a gentle smile. "You are already the lord of the world, shouldn't you make the decision yourself?" Suddenly, her eyes turned, and she smiled playfully. "Could it be that you still don't know the meaning of the lord of the world?" Lin Mo was slightly stunned. Could it be that the lord of the world has some special meaning? The water god giggled. "So you really don't know, then I have to think about whether to tell you or not." Lin Mo knew that the water god was joking with him. "Please tell me." The water god chuckled. Okay, actually, the lord of the world has another meaning for us gods, that is, our master." When the water god said this, Lin Mo understood. Gods are conceived by the world, and since he had become the lord of the world, wouldn't he become the master of the gods? But judging from the water god's meaning, she didn't seem to be angry because she was subservient to humans. Not only was the water god not unhappy, but she also narrowed her eyes. "I didn't expect that our master would be a human, and such a young human." Lin Mo smiled. "In that case, can I order you around?" The water god blinked her beautiful eyes. "Of course, you are our master." She seemed to be serious. Since that was the case, then things would be easy. Lin Mo roughly told the water god his thoughts. The water god pondered. "There's no big problem, we gods were originally able to get along with your human race. Moreover, our needs are different, and there are no conflicting interests." Lin Mo said, "Okay, then I will resurrect all the other gods." He had already figured out where to place the gods. After devouring the land of savage beasts, the world had become much larger, with an extra continent. This continent was not small, with a diameter exceeding 20,000 kilometers. Lin Mo planned to settle the gods on this continent. The number of gods was not large, and this area was sufficient for them to live in. He would also set some restrictions to isolate this continent from the human world, and there would be no major problems. Having decided, Lin Mo began to revive the other gods. The water god became the guide, knowing all the sleeping places of the other gods. With the water god leading the way, Lin Mo saved a lot of time. In the sky above Meteorite Continent, there was a palace like a star. The god of stars slept within it. During the Great Battle, the god of stars was severely injured, and it was estimated that he would fall in his sleep in a few hundred years. Fortunately, Lin Mo's arrival, with the law of immortality and the power of the world, pulled him back from the brink of death. Then, in the Wind and Thunder continent, he found the sleeping place of the Wind God. Lin Mo had once obtained the Wind God's key and successfully opened the palace. In fact, he didn't need these props now. With his strength, the palaces of the gods couldn't stop him at all. While healing the Wind God, Lin Mo thought of the Thunder God. It was a pity that the Thunder God was too unyielding and resolutely decided to self-destruct after losing hope. If she could have held on until now, she might have been saved. After the God of Thunder self-destructed, she left behind a La Divine Crystal, as well as her godhead and godhood. Lin Mo planned to try to use these three things to revive the God of Thunder. Although the hope was small, it wasn't non-existent, and it was worth a try. In addition to the God of Thunder, there was also the God of Poison. The corpse of the God of Poison was still in his hands, and he also had the godhead and godhood, so he might be able to try it. According to the water god, the God of Poison was not friendly to the human race and had had many conflicts. However, when dealing with the invasion of savage beasts and insects, the God of Poison had never retreated half a step. The number of insects poisoned by it was not small. One by one, the gods were revived, and Lin Mo led them around. As the water god had said, becoming the lord of the world also meant becoming the master of the gods. These revived gods seemed to be very obedient. Their memories were basically still stuck in the moment when they fought side by side with the human race. And they were extremely friendly to the human race. Finally, they arrived at the great vortex in the lower space. The water god said, "That's where the god of souls sleeps." Back then, it was at the level of a transcendent god like me, and it was also the god most likely to become the lord of the world among us, but unfortunately it ultimately failed. But it was very powerful. After falling in realm like us, it cultivated back up again. In the end, although it failed to return to its peak, it still became a great god again and killed many savage beasts. The great god of souls was good at soul attacks. Soul attacks were powerful in battles of any level. It had no palace, nor did it need one. Anyone who dared to approach its sleeping place would be subjected to soul attacks. Chapter 871. The aftermath will be erased by time. Lin Mo had come here once and retreated knowing it was difficult. This time, there were no scruples. Lin Mo entered the great vortex, and soul attacks surged from all directions. The powerful soul attacks were all blocked by the soul world, causing no damage. Lin Mo entered the great vortex very smoothly and saw the great god of souls sleeping within. The great battle had just begun when it fell from the transcendent god level. During the great battle, it returned to the great god realm. This great god, who was good at soul attacks, did indeed have extraordinary abilities. Lin Mo used the old method to revive it. The whole process went smoothly without any trouble. The awakened great god of souls looked at Lin Mo with a slightly puzzled expression. Then he asked in a low, hoarse voice, "Lord of the world?" Lin Mo nodded. "Let's go, your companions are waiting for you outside." The great god of souls' gaze penetrated the vortex and saw the dozen or so gods outside. These were once its comrades who fought side by side, and even brothers and sisters. The great god of souls took a deep look at Lin Mo. "You are very good." The great god of souls had its own arrogance and was not too humble. In fact, Lin Mo didn't need its humility. "Thank you for the compliment." Back outside, Lin Mo looked at the gods. Let's go home." "Let's go home." These words made the gods a little excited. The main world was their home. Leaving home was like a child running away, with nowhere to turn. Lin Mo took out the dragon scale. "Antares, I'm bothering you." This was not the human world, and Lin Mo did not yet have the ability to send so many gods back directly. "Antares," voice sounded from the dragon scale. "No problem." Hearing Antares' voice, the gods became excited again, calling out, "Lord." None of them called Antares by name, all uniformly calling it, "Lord." The dragon scale shone with light, shaping a time-space tunnel, opening up the human world. The aura of the human world was constantly transmitted through the time-space tunnel. The gods excitedly drilled into the time-space tunnel. Returning to the long-lost main world, returning to their home. The gods shed tears one by one. Lin Mo did not stay and returned to his world, and everything was easy to handle. With a wave of his hand, he instantly brought the gods to the divine palace on the top of Kunlun Mountain. This was the sleeping place of the great god of Kunlun and the god of holy sound. The great god of Kunlun sensed Lin Mo immediately and showed his figure. When he saw the many gods, he was stunned on the spot. The gods looked at the sluggish great god of Kunlun with joyful smiles. They seemed to have been like this before. The great god of Kunlun finally reacted and knew what had happened. It was Lin Mo who had healed the gods, so he and his wife had hope of being resurrected. The once barren land of barrenness. Now that it had been integrated into the main world, after Lin Mo's transformation, it had become a lush land. There were forests, lakes, mountains, and flowing water. There was a scorching land with a rich fire element, and there was also a huge grassland with a strong wind element. This would also be the continent where the gods would live in the future, and Lin Mo named it the continent of gods. Rise. Following Lin Mo's will, a high mountain rose from the ground. Thunder. Above the mountain, lightning was born from nothing. Streaks of lightning continuously struck the mountain, and in an instant, the elemental electricity here became extremely intense. Lin Mo took out the godhead and divine throne of the god of thunder, along with the remaining law god crystals, and placed them together. Then, he injected several strands of the world's power, wrapped them with the undying law, and sent them into the mountain. There might be some will left by the god of thunder in the godhead, and perhaps in the future, using his own laws, plus the power of the world, the god of thunder would still have a chance to revive. In order to help the god of thunder seize this faint possibility, Lin Mo also created an environment full of electrical elements for the god of thunder. It sounded a bit, but now, he could only try. Life and death, destruction, even if he was the lord of the world, he couldn't completely control it. Otherwise, there would be no need for Ning Yi and the others to enter the coffin of slumber, seeking the future. Finally, he set restrictions to protect this area, so that other gods or creatures would not accidentally enter it. Then, following the same method, Lin Mo also created similar environments for the god of poison and the god of life. He didn't have the godhead of the god of life, so he could only use the creation scepter he had. According to the god of life, as long as the core of life was still there, she would have a chance to revive. The core of life had been repaired, but whether it could really be like what she said would require time to verify. After doing all this, Lin Mo completely isolated the continent of gods and the human world, so that there would be no conflict between the two sides. The great battle of the past seemed to have truly come to an end. The aftereffects left behind would gradually recover with the passage of time. At the Genesis Academy, an aura belonging to a transcendent god broke through a cave dwelling. Di Huang finally successfully broke through, becoming the second transcendent god of the human race after Lin Mo. His breakthrough was good news for Lin Mo. Di Huang didn't plan to leave the world, and with him guarding the world, there wouldn't be too much trouble. The movement of Di Huang's breakthrough immediately attracted the attention of the strong people in the Genesis Academy. Then the news spread, and soon a large group of human experts gathered in front of the cave where Di Huang was in seclusion. Meng Anwen and others were all present. Di Huang walked out of the cave dwelling in plain clothes, and immediately heard the crowd's high-pitched congratulations. Congratulations, Senior Di Huang, on becoming a transcendent god. Congratulations, Senior Di Huang, on becoming a transcendent god. Congratulations, Senior Di Huang, on becoming a transcendent god. Di Huang smiled, very happy. Breaking through to transcendent god made him look decades younger. A half-step transcendent god can normally live for more than 200 years, and at most 300 years, while the lifespan of a transcendent god starts at 500 years. Di Huang was originally over 150 years old, which was no longer young for a half-step transcendent god. But for a transcendent god, he was in his prime. Everyone congratulated him, and Di Huang was very happy. Everyone doesn't have to be so polite, this old man is just lucky. Senior, you are too modest. A loud voice came. Lin Mo didn't know when he appeared in the arena, and also congratulated Di Huang with a fist. Congratulations, Senior, on breaking through to transcendent god. Di Huang immediately returned the salute with a fist. This old man was able to break through to transcendent god, thanks to you, little friend. Lin Mo smiled and said, this is the result of the senior's efforts, and has little to do with the junior. Di Huang was even more polite, this old man speaks his mind, and the accomplished are teachers. Little friend achieved transcendent god earlier than this old man. According to etiquette, I should call you senior. Everyone was in an uproar, and they realized that Lin Mo had already broken through to transcendent god. Even earlier than Di Huang. Surprise appeared in the eyes of Meng Anwen and the other three. The three of them had long known that Lin Mo could break through to the transcendent god level, but they didn't expect it to be so fast. As for others, they were so shocked that they couldn't speak. How talented would one have to be to break through to the transcendent god level at the age of less than 30? Lin Mo's talent was beyond the reach of ordinary people. When you can't catch up, jealousy will not exist, and only envy remains. After a round of congratulations, Lin Mo called Di Huang, Meng Anwen, Bai Yiyuan, and Yan Guangsheng together. Senior Di Huang, teacher, I'm leaving. Chapter 872 Sleep well and wait for your husband to wake you up. There are some things on the road of stars that cannot be told to others. But there are some things that must be told to others. Lin Mo's imminent departure is not convenient to tell the world for the time being. But Meng Anwen and the other three must know. In Lin Mo's heart, they were his relatives. Moreover, Lin Mo had also mentioned the coffin of slumber to Meng Anwen and the other three, and none of them planned to leave. For this reason, Lin Mo respected their choice, and when he became the lord of the world, he placed a part of the world's power on them. In this way, they may have a chance to break through to the transcendent god level. If it doesn't work out, the two sides may have a time to meet again. As for Di Huang, after he leaves, Di Huang will become the strongest person in the human world. No matter what happens in the future, Di Huang will be like a Dinghai Shenzhen. Meng Anwen and the other three looked at Lin Mo, speechless for a long time. Lin Mo saw reluctance in their eyes. It was like their child was about to travel far away. Even though Bai Yiyuan already had his own child, in his eyes, Lin Mo was also his child. The two old guys, Bai Yiyuan and Yan Guangsheng, had some moisture in their eyes. Di Huang snorted, "You two are 200 years old together, don't be so nagging. Only by leaving this world can you climb to higher places. Do you think I don't want to leave? I don't have the ability to leave, I'm afraid of death. If you have the ability, you can also cultivate to the third level of transcendent God and leave this world." Di Huang taught them like he was teaching his juniors. 70 or 80 years ago, Di Huang taught them like this. Meng Anwen looked at Lin Mo and just said softly, "Be careful." All the words were contained in these 4 words. ... Returning to his manor, Ning Yi and the other 4 had not returned yet, and the manor was empty. The only few servants inside also left the manor a few days ago. Lin Mo recalled alone, recalling all the experiences since his job transfer, less than 10 years ago. It felt like a dream bubble, but it was extremely real. Scenes passed clearly before his eyes. Lin Mo seemed to have re-experienced a life that belonged only to him. His aura also changed in the memory, and seemed to become silent again. In fact, Lin Mo only had more to say when facing Antares, Ning Yi, Meng Anwen and others. Facing others, he was true to his name, silent and unmoving. It wasn't until the sound of footsteps that Lin Mo woke up from his thoughts. Ning Yi and the others had returned, as if they had agreed to, walking and returning together. At this time, there were still 5 days before Lin Mo's departure. Lin Mo spent another 5 days of tenderness. Who knows how long it would be before there would be such days in the future. 5 days later, the 4 surrounded Lin Mo, their eyes filled with deep reluctance. Ning Yi's tears fell uncontrollably, her delicate nose twitching constantly. The other 3 were much the same. Over these years, the feelings between them had become very deep. With separation imminent, they were all very reluctant. Lin Mo wiped away their tears. "Don't cry, you just take a nap, and when you wake up, we won't have to separate." Entering the coffin of slumber, they would fall into the deepest sleep, until Lin Mo awakened them again. For Ning Yi and the others, it would be as simple as taking a nap. Even if it were tens of millions of years, it would only be a blink of an eye, a dream of 1,000 years. "I know, but I can't help but want to cry," Ning Yi said, her voice choked with emotion, her little heart aching. Shu Han whispered in Lin Mo's ear, "The great world is very dangerous, husband must be careful in everything." Mo Yun and Xian Mumu hugged Lin Mo from left and right, similarly urging, "Husband must be very careful in his actions. Don't worry, just have a good sleep, and your husband will wake you up." Lin Mo's words were firm and powerful, this was a promise. After a period of tenderness, the time for separation finally arrived. Lin Mo took out the coffin of slumber. His soul force surged, activating the coffin of slumber. The coffin of slumber possessed a world within, a world where time and space were completely still. Those who entered it would fall into a deep sleep. The 4 did not resist and were directly taken into it. Lin Mo could sense that within the coffin of slumber, the 4 had already fallen asleep. He put the coffin of slumber into his soul world, placing it in front of his soul body. With a soft sigh, Lin Mo left the manor. A great force descended from the sky, enveloping the manor. The power of the world enveloped the manor, no one could enter without Lin Mo's permission. Even a 9th-order transcendent god couldn't enter. He was the master of the world, he had the final say. Lin Mo took out a dragon scale and opened a space-time channel. After taking one last look at the human world, he turned and walked into the space-time channel. The ancient battlefield, the lower space. Lin Mo arrived at Divine Summer Ancient City, Xingxia Ancient City. Divine Summer Ancient City was actually the god-slaying fortress, Zhu Shen Buluo, a relatively well-known war weapon in the Great World. When fully activated, the god-slaying fortress could kill experts in the true god realm, its power was extraordinary. To be left here for thousands of years was a great waste. In the past, its existence could have been a base for the human race in the lower space. Now that the dragon race and the abyss demons had been destroyed, the role of Divine Summer Ancient City had been greatly reduced. AAA0 seeking fresh flowers 0A. After Lin Mo arrived, the ancient Thunder Outer Tower Gu Lei Wai Ta appeared in his hand. The inner and outer towers communicated, Lin Mo's power entered the outer tower, and he used the outer tower to control the inner tower. In the blink of an eye, Lin Mo took control of the entire god-slaying fortress. Power continued to pour into it, and the god-slaying fortress began to shake violently. Then, the people in the city simultaneously saw a blur before their eyes and were already outside the city. Under everyone's shocked gaze, the god-slaying fortress rose from the ground. The ancient thunder tower rose from the fortress, and the god-slaying fortress changed shape in the air, rapidly shrinking. The entire god-slaying fortress eventually turned into a tower shape that was only 10 meters high and 5 meters wide, exactly the same as the ancient thunder tower. The next second, a space-time channel appeared at the tip of the god-slaying fortress, and the god-slaying fortress turned into a stream of light, plunged into the space-time channel, and disappeared. Everyone was stunned. Divine Summer Ancient City, which had stood on this land for thousands of years, had flown away just like that. 0. A city turned into a tower and flew away. Who would believe it if you said that? Goodness, what's going on? How could Divine Summer Ancient City fly away? It's too incredible. Strange things happen every year, but this year there are especially many. It's really ghostly. The crowd discussed, but no one could get the correct answer. Lin Mo stood in the tower, driving the ancient thunder tower through space, flying towards where Antares was. With Lin Mo's current strength, he couldn't unleash the full power of the god-slaying fortress, but it was enough to use it for travel. The tower-shaped god-slaying fortress had the ability to travel through space, which was very useful. As the owner of the god-slaying fortress, Lin Mo found it very convenient to operate. He only needed to move his mind. In the blink of an eye, the god-slaying fortress had arrived in the upper space, flying towards where Antares was at an alarming speed. The speed, as it seems now, is faster than when I fully use the wings of the undead. It only takes a little power to unleash amazing speed. This is only in a small world. The place where the god-slaying fortress truly exerts its speed is still the great world. Lin Mo evaluated and compared in his heart. Although the wings of the undead were fast, they consumed soul force. Soul force was not infinite, so it should be saved where possible. The god-slaying fortress didn't need to, it could draw the energy it needed from space. As long as it wasn't a major battle, the power it absorbed was enough to support it just for travel. 10 seconds later, the god-slaying fortress arrived at the place where Antares was. Lin Mo revealed his figure and put away the god-slaying fortress at the same time. War weapons like the god-slaying fortress were of extremely high level, and could be stored in the soul when not needed. 873rd. Chapter. Give you one last chance to kill me. I'm leaving. Lin Mo and Antares stared at each other. From Antares' eyes, Lin Mo also saw reluctance. He didn't have many friends, Antares was one, and the most important one. Antares had even fewer friends, only Lin Mo. Although Antares was reluctant, that's not what he said. Go, if you leave, I can get a good night's sleep. Lin Mo smiled slightly. How long will it take you? Antares said, soon, another 100 or 200 years will be about it. Lin Mo nodded. Come find me then. You can't be too weak by then. I also need face. It's embarrassing to have such a weak friend. Antares shook his head, saying in a muffled voice. Lin Mo reached out and gently patted Antares' head twice. Don't worry, I won't let you down. I'll give you one last chance to kill me before I leave. I'm afraid you won't have a chance later. Antares chuckled and spewed a mouthful of fiery dragon breath at Lin Mo Yu. The space-time channel opened, and Lin Mo Yu was directly blasted into the deep space by the dragon breath. Lin Mo Yu was surrounded by dragon breath, and his innate purple aura had not completely dissipated. This time, Antares used the power of a rank 6 true god, directly causing the undead to continuously collapse 5 times, thereby activating Lin Mo Yu's talent. After Lin Mo Yu stepped into the transcendent god realm, the power of a rank 5 true god was no longer enough for Lin Mo Yu to stimulate his talent, at least a rank 6 true god was needed. Lin Mo Yu understood that Antares was telling him not to take it lightly. At the same time, he was also telling himself where his limit was. Rank 6 true god could kill him with 2 strikes. If it were a rank 5 true god, it would take 3 strikes. This strike was Antares' last gift. Lin Mo Yu spread his wings of the undead, and with a flap of his wings, he rushed towards the ancient road of starlight at lightning speed. Several minutes later, Lin Mo Yu arrived in front of the ancient road of starlight. The swamp was still there, but there were no longer swamp giant lizards inside. The deep space has its own rules. Monsters that die inside will be reborn after a period of time, which is somewhat similar to the rules of the human world, but they are also independent of each other. The swamp giant lizards will also be reborn after a while. From afar, Lin Moyu saw Lillian. Lillian stood in front of the ancient road of starlight, seemingly confronting the gatekeeper puppet. Lillian did not attack forcefully. The gatekeeper puppet, wielding swords and sabers, did not take further action, but was only on guard. Seeing Lin Moyu's aura, Lillian's tightly knitted brows gradually relaxed, and a faint smile appeared on her cold face. "You've finally arrived." The phrase, "you've finally arrived," made it seem like a long-awaited rendezvous for lovers. Coupled with Lillian's beautiful face, it was easy to create misunderstandings. Lin Moyu was expressionless. He came to Lillian's side and did not speak, but only gave a soft "n" in response. At this moment, he seemed to have returned to the past, becoming that person who didn't like to talk. His wives were asleep, he bid farewell to his relatives and friends, and he was about to go to an unfamiliar place. Lin Moyu felt a little lonely, and his aura was a little depressed. On the contrary, Lillian, because she was about to enter the great world, where the sky is high and birds can fly, she seemed extremely relaxed. Her usually cold and indifferent face also had a hint of a smile at this time. As for the gatekeeper puppet, she was not worried at all. Lin Moyu clasped his fist towards the puppet. "Senior, we want to enter the ancient road of starlight." The puppet said, "You can go in, but she can't." Lillian stared at the puppet, a sneer on her face. "Can you stop me?" The puppet laughed. "You can try." It had been guarding the ancient road of starlight for who knows how many years. A little fellow like Lillian, who was only at rank 1 transcendent god, actually wanted to break in. It was simply courting death. Looking at Lin Moyu again, he was only at rank 1 transcendent god as well. The puppet said, "I told you, don't go to the ancient road of starlight to die unless you are at rank 3 transcendent god." Lillian was about to say something, but Lin Moyu glanced at Lillian, signaling her not to speak. Lillian returned a look to Lin Moyu, meaning she would give him face this time. Lin Moyu said, "Thank you for the reminder, senior. We should be fine." The puppet said, "I'm just kindly reminding you, not stopping you. If you insist on going in to die, then go ahead. As for her, she is not a native creature, so she is not allowed to enter according to the rules, unless..." Lin Moyu asked, "Unless what?" "Unless you can defeat me. Do you see the ancient road of starlight behind me? The ancient road has no gate. No matter what method you use, as long as you can enter it, I won't stop you." The puppet pointed behind him. Behind him, there was indeed a road woven from starlight. The entrance was not large, and was blocked by the puppet by 80 to 90%. The puppet was only in charge of guarding the gate. As long as one could enter it, it would no longer be under its control. The current situation was very clear. Either defeat it, or kill it, or retreat and don't force your way in. Lin Moyu did not know the puppet's strength, but people from the previous era were able to pass through, and Lin Moyu believed that he would be fine. His cooperation with Lillian had not completely ended, and sending Lillian into the ancient road of starlight was also one of the contents of the cooperation. Lin Moyu would not break his promise. What he said, he would do. "Senior, please forgive me." Lin Moyu shouted softly, and his hands glowed slightly. The Law of Undying responded and flew towards the puppet. The skeleton also rose with the law, enveloping it. The puppet's whole body emitted a bronze light, slightly tinged with dark red. It's useless. This puppet uses the law of copper and iron. Its whole body is extremely hard and can withstand attacks from rank 5 transcendent gods. You little rank 1 transcendent god. Before he could finish speaking, the puppet suddenly let out a strange cry. Lin Moyu's law of undying had already arrived on the puppet's body, and the bronze light on the puppet's body quickly changed. The bronze body, which was originally as bright as gold, instantly became dim. In the blink of an eye, the surface of the bronze body actually began to rot. The outer shell rotted, revealing the internal structure. The copper body and iron bones, coupled with the law of copper and iron, made the puppet indeed very strong in defense. Unfortunately, his law happened to encounter Lin Moyu's law of undying. The law of undying expressed the sight of death, and everything would fall into silence. The puppet's copper skin quickly rotted, and the iron bones inside also suffered. The puppet shouted loudly, "What kind of law is this? Why is it so powerful? You are not rank 1 transcendent god, you are definitely not." The puppet shouted in disbelief. It waved its swords and sabers, and slashed out 100-meter sword energies towards Lin Mo Yu. 4. 7. Lin Mo Yu was very fast. He flapped his wings of the undead and flew away. Lillian even took a step to the side lightly and appeared 100 meters away in an instant. The puppet still blocked the door and did not give way. Senior, Junior is attacking. Lin Mo Yu gently tapped his finger. Fusion spell, curse of time. The puppet's whole body trembled slightly, but did not scream. It was a puppet, and its soul was also made with a special method, so it had no sense of pain. But Lin Mo Yu didn't want the puppet to scream. So it's a soul attack, useless, useless. The law of time around the puppet changed, and time quickly accelerated many times. Under the effect of time acceleration, the law of undying was even more powerful, and quickly rotted out one large hole after another on the puppet's body. Impossible, what's going on here again? What exactly is your law? A trace of fear appeared in its voice. Chapter 874, Ancient Road of Starlight, Invisible Law Influence. Lin Mo Yu knew that the puppet could not recognize the law of time. The law of time was too high-end, belonging to the top laws, not something that was easily available. Antares could recognize it, the starry sky giant tree could recognize it, but that didn't mean others could recognize it. The puppet's strength was only at the transcendent god level, but it was refined with special materials, making it very strong. Even rank 9 transcendent gods could not cause damage to it. That's why it was very proud and afraid of nothing. But now, the undying law shattered its sturdy shell and crushed its pride. It became panicked and helpless. Lin Mo didn't make any further moves, but said calmly, "Senior, can you step aside now?" Lin Mo could see that the puppet's material was indeed special, seemingly having self-healing properties. If it didn't get injured again now, it might return to its original state after a while. Lin Mo didn't go too far, leaving a glimmer of hope. The puppet had wisdom, could think, and possessed self-awareness. As long as one possessed self-awareness, they wouldn't want to face death. Not out of fear of death, but given a choice, they would inevitably choose to live. The puppet murmured, "I'm just a puppet, I'm just a gatekeeper." Saying that, it unceremoniously stepped aside, clearing the exit. Lin Mo also stopped at this moment. Without the corrosion of the undying law, the wounds on the puppet's body began to gradually heal. The puppet looked at Lin Mo. "You're even more powerful than those guys from the last era." From beginning to end, it hadn't been able to make a move, being suppressed by Lin Mo the entire time, the swords in its hands becoming mere decorations. Compared to that group from the last era, Lin Mo seemed even more terrifying. Lin Mo smiled slightly, "Thank you for the compliment. More powerful than the professionals from the last era." Lin Mo knew it in his heart, the fact was indeed so. He wasn't conceited, the people from the last era hadn't been able to become lords of the world. Moreover, the last era had done some bad things, making their era miserable. If he encountered them after going out, he would definitely ask them clearly. Starlight Ancient Road, as its name suggested, was truly woven from starlight. The myriad starlights of the great world shot over, weaving into a splendid passage. In the passage, Lin Mo could feel the power from the great world. This was an indescribable power, grand and majestic. Being in it made one feel small. Behind Lin Mo, a pair of beautiful eyes flickered with a sharp light, somewhat complex. Lillian had previously thought that Lin Mo would have a good fight with the gatekeeping puppet. She hadn't expected such a result, Lin Mo using a method she couldn't even understand to solve the gatekeeping puppet. It should be said, making the gatekeeping puppet give up and automatically admit defeat. She could see that Lin Mo actually had the ability to kill the gatekeeping puppet, but he had restraint and didn't do so. Being able to kill the gatekeeping puppet, killing herself shouldn't be difficult either. Lillian couldn't see through Lin Mo at all anymore. Lin Mo sensed Lillian's gaze. "Is there a problem?" Lillian retracted her gaze, instead surveying the Starlight Ancient Road. It was filled with various starlights, colorful and beautiful. She also felt a sense of smallness. Lillian said softly, "We've already entered the scope of the great world, you should have felt the aura of the great world, felt your own insignificance." Lin Mo gave a hum. Indeed it was so. The aura of the great world was still very weak, but the feeling of insignificance was very strong. This intensity gave Lin Mo a sense of discomfort. Lillian said softly, "No matter who it is, as long as they can reach transcendent God, the strong who step into the great world from the small world are very conceited. So when they step into the great world will give them a blow." letting them know that they are insignificant, that they are trivial, and that they must maintain awe of the great world. Lin Mo stopped and turned his head to look at Lillian. How do you know? Lillian had obviously just entered the Starlight Ancient Road like himself, and hadn't truly entered the great world yet. How would she know this? Lillian said in a deep voice, I naturally have ways of knowing. This is not within the scope of our cooperation. I don't need to tell you. Lin Mo knew that Lillian definitely had many secrets on her body, but since Lillian didn't say, he couldn't possibly ask. The two were just a simple cooperative relationship. Lin Mo didn't even care about Lillian's life or death. He was just finishing what he had promised to do now. As for what would happen in the future, whether Lillian would be killed as soon as she went out, he didn't care. The two fell silent again. Lin Mo didn't say a word, and continued to move forward. The Starlight Ancient Road was very long, and Lin Mo hadn't reached the end after walking for half a day. The puppet had once said that the Starlight Ancient Road wasn't safe, and only those who had reached Transcendent God Tier 3 had the confidence to pass. But they had walked for half a day and hadn't encountered any danger. Besides the colorful starlight, nothing could be seen in front of them. Vaguely, a sense of oppression appeared. As soon as this sense of oppression appeared, it began to uncontrollably grow. The mood began to become irritable. The Starlight Ancient Road was extremely quiet, but the quieter it was, the more irritable it felt. Various bad thoughts surged into the heart. Lin Mo wanted to vent all the irritability in his heart. The next second, Lin Mo realized that something was wrong. Lightning flashed in his eyes, and the soul world suddenly let out a roar. The 9-colored dragon soul crystal let out a loud dragon roar, and the irritability was swept away. Thoughts regained clarity. Lin Mo felt a burst of fear. He had unknowingly been tricked and affected. This method was extremely clever. Looking at Lillian again, at this time, Lillian's eyes were flashing with red light, obviously already affected. She seemed to be suppressing the restlessness in her heart, her fists clenched tightly, and her delicate body was also trembling. From her performance, she could realize that something was wrong with her, but she just couldn't control it. Don't move. Lin Mo pointed at Lillian's brow, and an invisible force invaded Lillian's soul world. Lillian only felt a burst of stabbing pain in her soul, and then a dragon roar sounded in her soul. Her delicate body trembled violently, and all the irritability was swept away. The red light in her eyes faded, and she returned to normal. Lillian breathed a long sigh of relief. Thank you. Lin Mo smiled slightly. I haven't sent you out yet. I will guarantee your safety. Meaning the cooperation hadn't ended yet, Lin Mo wouldn't watch her die. Lillian asked, did Lord Antares teach you this method? Lin Mo didn't answer. You have secrets, and I have them too. Lin Mo couldn't possibly tell her about the 9-colored dragon soul crystal. Lillian also knew better and didn't ask any more questions. This was considered the first level, and the two had already passed it. Lin Mo thought carefully about what had happened before. The invisible law could affect the soul, thereby confusing the mind. Transcendent God Tier 1 was difficult to resist. If it was Transcendent God Tier 3, it would be much better. Although it would still be affected, as long as one was aware of it, they could slowly eliminate the effect. If there hadn't been the 9-colored dragon soul crystal just now, he would have been able to eliminate the influence on the soul. It would just be a little more troublesome. It was difficult for Lillian. Perhaps she also had corresponding methods. Lin Mo was too lazy to understand. After walking for a while, countless light spots suddenly appeared in front of them. The light spots filled the entire passage, rapidly magnifying in front of them. The points of light were like heavy punches, slamming down hard. Chapter 875. Who dares bully the descendants of my human race? Starlight transformed into countless fists flying over, densely covering the entire passage, impossible to avoid. Was this the second trial of the ancient Star Road? Lin Mo Yu could feel that the power on the fists wasn't strong, only at the level of a second-tier transcendent god. If it were a third-tier transcendent god, dealing with it wouldn't be too difficult. But if it were a first-tier transcendent god, it would be dangerous. Coupled with the invisible laws that affected the mind earlier. If he hadn't recovered, he'd probably rush up now and fight these fists for 300 rounds. The result would most likely be exhaustion and death. Lin Mo Yu noticed Lillian's expression and said softly, stand behind me. Lillian stood directly behind Lin Mo Yu without the slightest hesitation. Based on her understanding of Lin Mo Yu, if he said it, he could definitely do it. Lin Mo Yu directly faced the fists and continued forward. In Lillian's surprised eyes, the fists landed on Lin Mo Yu, but it was like a clay ox entering the sea, having no effect. Lin Mo Yu's body flickered with a faint white light, an inconspicuous white light, blocking all attacks. Lillian's eyes widened. Lin Mo Yu's spells were very strange, she couldn't understand them. But undeniably, all of Lin Mo Yu's spells were very strong. Amidst Lillian's shock, Lin Mo Yu continued to advance without stopping. The starlight changed again, turning into countless swords, flying and shooting. The attack power also became increasingly powerful, beginning to approach the third-tier Transcendent God. After reaching the Transcendent God realm, with each tier increase, the attack power would differ greatly. Even if they were both second-tier Transcendent Gods, newly ascended and reaching the peak would have vastly different strengths. The span of power became increasingly large. But no matter how strong the starlight became, for Lin Mo Yu, it was like tickling. Not to mention second-tier Transcendent Gods, even 5th or 6th-tier Transcendent Gods were nothing to Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu's physical body became a shield, blocking all attacks. At this moment, Lin Mo Yu in Lillian's eyes seemed to become taller. His back seemed to become a high wall that could shelter from wind and rain. The way Lillian looked at Lin Mo Yu showed some subtle changes. Even Lillian herself didn't notice this change. Finally, all the attacks disappeared. Lin Mo Yu saw the exit of the ancient Star Road. A wall of incomparably dazzling light and shadow. As long as one passed through this wall, they would truly enter the Great World. In the ancient Star Road, although one could already feel the power from the Great World, they hadn't truly entered it. Lin Mo Yu stopped before the exit. Once we leave here, our cooperation will end. Hearing these words, Lillian felt a strange emptiness in her heart, a slight sense of loss. However, she quickly reacted, erasing the inappropriate emotions, and said in her clear, cold voice, "The Great World is very dangerous, I hope we will have a chance to meet again." Lin Mo Yu smiled, "I can take your words as a blessing. Think what you want, move aside, let this Empress go out first." Lillian's eyebrows tightened, glaring at Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu yielded the passage, it wasn't important who went out first. A ball of light appeared in Lillian's hand, the center of which was a miniature palace. The palace was enveloped in green flames. Demon Emperor's Palace. Lin Mo Yu was surprised, no wonder the news came that the Demon Emperor had disappeared, and even the Demon Emperor's palace was gone. He didn't expect that the Demon Emperor's palace could be shrunk and taken away, obviously this palace was also an artifact of considerable rank. Lillian held the Demon Emperor's palace and left the ancient Star Road. Lin Mo Yu also followed out. The scene changed, and upon leaving the passage, he felt several powerful auras. A strong pressure spread wantonly, each aura belonging to a strong individual. Lin Mo Yu's heart tightened, he didn't expect there to be so many strong individuals outside the ancient Star Road. Then he saw with his own eyes that Lillian plunged into the Demon Emperor's palace. The Demon Emperor's palace seemed to flicker like starlight, instantly disappearing without a trace. He had long guessed that Lillian must have had plans. Now it seemed that this was indeed the case. Less than half a second after leaving the ancient Star Road, Lillian disappeared without a trace. Lillian moved too fast, even the strong individuals outside the ancient Star Road didn't react. As soon as Lillian left, waves of immense pressure descended from the sky, landing on Lin Mo Yu. Lin Mo Yu felt his whole body sink, and his thinking slowed down for a moment. I've been set up, Lin Mo Yu thought, no wonder Lillian wanted to come out before him. Lin Mo Yu didn't care about the pressure on his body. Although it was strong, the strongest was only at the level of a first or second tier true god. If he wanted to leave, these guys couldn't stop him. Looking around, he finally saw the environment clearly. He was in the boundless starry sky, with brilliant starlight shooting from all directions. Behind him was a cloud of mist. The ancient Star Road had long disappeared, and within this cloud of mist was his original world. His world was hidden in the mist, protected by the laws of the Great World, appearing very safe. He saw many strong individuals, from various races, standing in the starry sky, towering and upright. Lin Mo Yu could discern that most of these strong individuals were true gods, but they weren't very strong, all being first or second tier true gods. Behind these true gods, there were also some transcendent god-level strong individuals standing, obviously all descendants of these true gods. They all looked at him with strange eyes, seeming very interested in him. Being stared at by strong individuals from at least a dozen races, Lin Mo Yu felt very uncomfortable. At this moment, the brilliant starlight of the great world shone down, and Lin Moyu felt his soul world suddenly vibrate. The talent giant tree, which hadn't moved for a long time, suddenly began to grow. Great World Law Baptism. Antares had once said that entering the great world from a small world would undergo a great world law baptism. Talents would be enhanced during the baptism. This was an excellent opportunity to greatly improve strength. There was even a chance to further improve the soul, from the 3rd rank to the 4th rank. Lin Moyu's soul had already touched the boundary between the 3rd and 4th ranks, and there was a high possibility of breaking through during the baptism. But the next second, another powerful force fell, isolating the starlight, and all the changes came to an abrupt end. A strong individual, at least a God King level strong individual. Lin Moyu was secretly startled. The laws of the great world could not be easily blocked. Having the ability to do this was at least a God King level existence, and possibly even a God Emperor. This force enveloped him, and his keen soul told Lin Moyu that the other party had no malicious intent. So Lin Moyu didn't resist. As this force descended, a clear soul sound rang out at the same time, "Who dares to bully the descendants of my human race?" Lin Moyu recognized this voice. It was the woman he had seen at the core of the world. Looking over, it was indeed her. A beautiful figure, like a fairy, stepping on starlight. In front of her, there was also a stalwart presence. Lin Moyu could tell at a glance that this was a God Lord, an existence as powerful as Sword Orchid God Lord. It was this God Lord who took action, isolating the great world's laws from baptizing him. Since he was already here, Lin Moyu didn't speak, but just watched quietly. After they arrived and the woman spoke, all the pressure on him retreated like mice seeing a cat. Lin Moyu found it amusing. It turned out that the strong of the great world were also bullies. Whoever had the bigger fist had the right to speak. This rule still applied in the great world. So what if you're from the human race? This isn't your territory. A deep soul voice rang out, and terrifying power swept through the starry sky. Chapter 876. Unity internally, ruthless measures externally. Lin Moyu saw a burly figure with bull horns on his head, about 60–70% similar to humans. He didn't know what race this was, but it looked a bit like a half-human, half-bull. His eyes were fierce, and when Lin Moyu met his gaze, he seemed to see a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. This was also a ruthless person who had fought his way out. The human race God Lord came to Lin Moyu and stood between him and the bull-headed God Lord. His eyes were extremely cold, and his whole body exuded a dangerous aura, without the slightest hint of retreat. Then you can try. Behind him, the laws surged, transforming into various weapons. As if ready to unleash a shocking blow at any moment. The atmosphere became extremely oppressive in an instant. Retreat quickly. The true god powerhouses of various races changed their expressions greatly and hurriedly retreated. If God Lord powerhouses fought, they would be affected and their lives would be unpredictable. The bull-headed God Lord's eyes also flashed with danger, his fists clenched tightly, and the laws on his fists continued to roar. The human race woman, whom Lin Moyu had met once, said softly, "Don't be afraid, Master can protect you." Lin Moyu didn't speak, looking as if he was frightened. A mere transcendent, facing a God Lord, it would be strange not to be frightened. Lin Moyu's performance, in the eyes of others, was perfectly normal. After the two sides confronted each other for more than 10 seconds, the bull-headed God Lord suddenly released his fists and slowly retreated. He's backing down. He was quite fierce just now, but now he's giving in. Lin Moyu was slightly shocked. At this moment, he saw the strength of the human race in the great world. Just as Antares said, in the great world, the human race was also a strong race, no worse than any other race. Now it seemed that this was indeed the case. After retreating 100 meters, the bull-headed God Lord's soul voice came, "Since it's a little guy from your human race who came out, then let you take him away." This could be considered giving himself a way out. God Lord's always needed face, Lin Moyu could understand. "Let's go." The human race God Lord shouted in a low voice, waved his hand, and swept up Lin Moyu, leaving quickly. After flying tens of thousands of miles, the human race God Lord stopped and threw out a ball of light. The ball of light exploded in the starry sky, turning into a flying boat about 20 meters long. The three entered the flying boat, and the flying boat instantly turned into a stream of light and disappeared. The flying boat traveled rapidly in the starry sky, traveling tens of thousands of miles in an instant, its speed far exceeding the wings of the undead. But even at such a fast speed, looking out from inside the flying boat, the changes in the stars outside were still slow. It was as if they hadn't moved much. Lin Moyu couldn't help but sigh in his heart. The great world was indeed the great world, and it was completely different from the small world. The vastness and grandeur of the great world far exceeded his imagination. Lin Moyu looked at the outside starry sky through the window of the flying boat. The flying boat moved away from the small world, and the thick fog representing the small world had disappeared from sight. Saying goodbye to his hometown, Lin Moyu's eyes were a little reluctant, and his mood was extremely complicated. A delicate fragrance of tea wafted into his nose, and Lin Moyu's spirit was shaken. The human race god lord sat on the tea table, and the woman was making tea beside him. "Little friend, come and have a cup of tea." The god lord's attitude was very kind, like a kind old man, without any airs. Completely different from his domineering and awe-inspiring appearance just now, as if he had changed into a different person. The contrast before and after was a bit big. Lin Moyu smelled the fragrance of tea and thought of the scenes in Bai Shen's small courtyard. He didn't know if he would have the chance to reunite with his teacher in the future. Seeing that Lin Moyu didn't move, the woman thought he was too nervous. "Don't be nervous, master is easy to talk to." The god lord also thought that Lin Moyu was nervous. "Little friend, you're new to the great world, you may not be used to it, but it's okay, you'll get used to it slowly." The woman poured tea, and her profile looked very delicate. Lin Moyu could tell that she was very focused. Not the kind of casual tea pouring, nor simply because of respect, but really focused, as if treating this matter as a kind of practice. The woman not only poured tea for the god lord, but also poured a cup for Lin Moyu. "Come and have some." She thought that Lin Moyu hadn't fully adapted yet, and her clear and cold voice softened by 3 points. "My name is Ji Qingshan, what's your name?" Lin Moyu walked to the tea table and saluted the god lord and Ji Qingshan. "Junior Lin Moyu, greetings senior god lord, greetings senior Ji." Daig, in the eyes of the god lord and Ji Qingshan, Lin Moyu was considered to have recovered at this time. They had seen this kind of situation a lot and didn't find it strange. The god lord smiled. "This old man's name is Yefeng." Ji Qingshan smiled slightly. "Don't be so restrained, but it's normal for you to be like this now, you'll know later." Lin Moyu had already adapted, but he didn't talk much, so others misunderstood him. God Lord Yefeng, little friend Lin can walk out of the small world, he is indeed a rare genius. That day Qingshan met little friend in the small world by chance, and when she came back, she told this old man that little friend is a rare talent. She also gave the guidance jade pendant to little friend, that's why this old man was able to sense it and come to pick you up this time. Hearing this, Lin Moyu understood. It turned out that God Lord Yefeng and Ji Qingshan were able to come out in time because of that guidance jade pendant. Lin Moyu took out the jade pendant. The front was engraved with a beautiful valley, and the back was a C character. The jade pendant matched Ji Qingshan's name perfectly. Lin Moyu asked, if Senior didn't come, what would have happened to Junior? God Lord Yefeng smiled kindly, it wouldn't have been anything. You also saw just now that there are also human race powerhouses among those people. In full view of the public, other races wouldn't dare to do anything to you, at most they would give you a show of strength to scare you. If they really attacked you, it would invite the revenge of our human race, and destroying a few large stars would be the most normal thing to do. Destroying a few large stars. God Lord Yefeng said it lightly, without a trace of murderous intent. But Lin Moyu had a feeling of palpitations. He knew that the so-called large stars were stars, and billions of living beings might live on the stars. The human race's revenge, destroying stars at every turn, this kind of revenge was too ruthless. Ji Qingshan said softly, the great world is not like the small world, if you are not ruthless enough to others, then others will take an inch, and the damage you suffer will only be greater at that time. We can only scare them all to death, then we will be at peace. Lin Moyu very much agreed with Ji Qingshan's words, in fact, this was indeed the case. If you want to survive in a cruel world, you must be united internally and take ruthless measures externally. Lin Moyu already knew that if God Lord Yefeng hadn't come just now, he might have been intimidated, but there would be no danger to his life. But why would the Night Wind God Venerable come to guide me? Just because I came from a small world. With the Night Wind God Venerable's status, even if he wanted to guide someone, he wouldn't need to come in person, right? Could it be because of Ji Qingshan? Lin Moyu was a little confused for a moment. Night Wind God Venerable saw Lin Moyu's confusion. It is extremely rare for a young friend to stand out from a small world and achieve transcendence, truly a rare genius. Our human race has always valued geniuses. This old man, just happened to be idle, and this can also be considered helping Qingshan complete a mission, so I just took a trip. From Night Wind God Venerable's words, Lin Moyu heard the word, mission. Yu Qingshan had a mission, and completing the mission was to guide him. Things seemed a bit strange. And why Night Wind God Venerable wanted to isolate the great world's laws from baptizing him was equally puzzling. Chapter 877, Vermilion Bird Starfield, 98th Star System. Outside the flying boat was a colorful stream of light. The original starry sky had disappeared. This scene was very similar to the scene during teleportation. Night Wind God Venerable's flying boat possessed abilities similar to a teleportation array, allowing it to rapidly travel through subspace, reaching extremely distant places in a short amount of time. Having just entered the Great World, he directly came into contact with a God Venerable level figure. Moreover, this God Venerable, along with his disciple, had expressed extremely strong goodwill towards him. All sorts of situations made Lin Moyu very confused, and even gave rise to vigilance in his heart. But thinking about it, he had encountered Bai Yiyuan not long after his job change. It seemed somewhat similar. Yu Qingshan explained to Lin Moyu along the way, finally allowing Lin Moyu to gradually understand. Yu Qingshan did indeed have a mission to guide a genius from a small world. The higher the talent of this genius, the greater the benefits she would receive. Perhaps it was because of fate that Yu Qingshan encountered Lin Moyu, and then chose Lin Moyu. In order to ensure the smooth completion of the mission, Yu Qingshan did not hesitate to invite Night Wind God Venerable to personally pick up Lin Moyu. As for why Night Wind God Venerable took action to interrupt the Great World's law baptism, the reason was actually very simple. Everyone who came out of a small world would enjoy a baptism of the Great World's laws. During the baptism, the soul could be strengthened, spells could be strengthened, and talent could also be strengthened. But often, people who had just stepped into the great world were still in a confused and dazed state, and could not 100% digest the benefits brought by the great world baptism. They might even waste some of the benefits. Therefore, Night Wind God Venerable used the power of a God Venerable to put the great world baptism for Lin Moyu on pause. When Lin Moyu had fully adapted to the great world, and then underwent the baptism, the benefits gained would be even greater. Yu Qingshan said softly, "Actually, I have selfish motives. What I accepted was a series of missions in the God City, and whether your talent is good or bad is only the first part of the mission. If you can enter the God City in the future, or even embark on the human race's God path, I will be able to obtain even more benefits." She generously and naturally stated her selfish motives. In short, the better Lin Moyu's future achievements, the more rewards she would receive. From her words, two pieces of information were revealed. One was the God City, and the other was the human race's God path. These two places sounded extraordinary. Lin Moyu asked, "Can you tell me about the God City and the human race's God path?" He knew nothing about the situation of the human race in the great world, and along the way, he mainly listened and rarely spoke. Even when he spoke, he was very modest and did not act like a genius at all. People like Lin Moyu who could stand out from a small world were almost all geniuses. Many were extremely arrogant, acting like they were the boss. In Night Wind God Venerable's long life, he had seen many such people. Night Wind God Venerable and Yu Qingshan both preferred Lin Moyu's attitude. Yu Qingshan slowly said, "The God City is our human race's holy land, and the human race's God path is the holy land within the holy land. All human races want to enter the God City and climb the God path. There is a saying in the human race, those who don't want to enter the God City are not good people." These words made Lin Moyu smile. If they aren't good people, could they be bad people? Night Wind God Venerable looked at Lin Moyu and said word by word, "You have a chance to enter the God City." Before Lin Moyu could react, Yu Qingshan exclaimed, "Master, are you serious?" Night Wind God Venerable looked at Yu Qingshan dotingly, "When has Master ever been wrong?" With Lin's friend's composure and the talent to stand out from a small world, entering the God City is not difficult. Yu Qingshan naturally believed her master's words, and the way she looked at Lin Moyu also changed. Perhaps the spur of the moment at that time could really bring her good returns. After a moment, accompanied by a slight tremor, the flying boat left subspace. The brilliant starlight shone again. Lin Moyu saw an extremely large star, with several equally large stars rotating around the star. Ji Yu Qingshan explained, "This is the Vermilion Bird starfield belonging to our human race. What you see is the 98th star system in the Vermilion Bird starfield. There are 3 major life stars, 6 major resource stars, and countless small planets inside." Lin Moyu looked at the magnificent star system, secretly shocked. In this star system alone, there were 3 major life stars, each with hundreds of millions of humans living on them. The scale of each major star far exceeded his small world. At the same time, in order to allow the people on the 3 major stars to cultivate normally, there were also 6 resource stars. The 9 major stars revolved around the star, and the star brought them light and heat. Forming a perfect cycle, such a scale was only a star system. Lin Moyu had a new understanding of the great world. Along the way, Ji Yu Qingshan roughly explained the structure of the human world. The human race was one of the strong races in the great world, with vast territory. Among them were 4 starfields, namely Azure Dragon, Vermilion Bird, White Tiger, and Black Tortoise. Each starfield had a large number of star systems, and these star systems were numbered. The 4 starfields jointly guarded the central god territory. The God City and the human race God Path that Ji Yu Qingshan mentioned earlier were located in the central God territory. However, the God City was not so easy to enter, and many assessments were required to enter it. AAA0 seeking fresh flowers. AAAAAAA. The small world where Lin Moyu was originally located was located on the edge of the Vermilion Bird starfield, at the border between the human territory and the alien territory. The 98th star system of the Vermilion Bird starfield was the closest life star system to the small world. According to the rules, Lin Moyu's first stop after leaving the small world was here. Even if Night Wind God Venerable didn't come to guide Lin Moyu, other human experts would send Lin Moyu here. The flying boat entered the star system and flew towards one of the major life stars. Ji Yu Qingshan explained, "The number of this major life star is Vermilion Bird 98-1, and it is also where you register your identity. All human experts who come out of the small world must first register and obtain an identity. You must remember that without an identity, you will find it difficult to move an inch among the human race." Lin Moyu nodded lightly, remembering Ji Yu Qingshan's words. 0. At the same time, he thought of the missing Lillian. He didn't know where she had gone. If she entered the human race and didn't have a corresponding identity, would she find it difficult to move an inch, as Ji Yu Qingshan said? The flying boat landed on the Vermilion Bird 98-1 major star. Night Wind God Venerable did not appear. Ji Yu Qingshan took Lin Moyu to register. This was also part of the mission. She would accompany Lin Moyu to complete everything. Lin Moyu walked out of the flying boat and saw a large number of human races. They wore all kinds of clothes, with no uniform standard. Although all were human, each person came from a different world, with different customs. This difference was all-encompassing. Ji Yu Qingshan said, "Don't find it strange, our human race has the strongest inclusiveness of all races, in all aspects." Lin Moyu thought for a moment and asked in a low voice, "Are there many people like me?" Ji Yu Qingshan shook her head, "Not too many, not too few, after all, there are countless small worlds, and someone will always emerge." Under Ji Yu Qingshan's guidance, the two arrived at the registration office. The registration office was not small in scale, seemingly built of bluestone, exuding an ancient and aged aura. There was a queue in front of the door, with hundreds of people, each wearing different clothes, clearly from different small worlds. Lin Moyu was a little surprised. Wasn't it said that there weren't many? This was just one galaxy, and there were thousands upon thousands of such galaxies in the Vermilion Bird starfield. And there were 4 entire starfields like the Vermilion Bird starfield, so the total number would be enormous. Ji Yu Qingshan glanced at the registration office, then closed her eyes for a few seconds, as if sensing something. Then she opened her eyes and said, "We've arrived at a good time, the registration will open in 2 days, no rush, we'll wait a while." Chapter 878. Registering Identity, the Human Emperor Network. The registration office was not open all the time, it only opened once every 100 days. The people at the front of the line had been waiting for over 100 days. Lin Moyu was relatively lucky, only needing to wait 2 days. Lin Moyu also realized that he had misunderstood. It wasn't that there were always so many people, but rather that so many people accumulated every 100 days. Thinking like this, it was all right. There were indeed many small worlds, but not everyone left a small world and entered a large world at all times. It wasn't so easy to leave a small world. Under Ji Qingshan's explanation, Lin Moyu learned some more things. In the human world, there were roughly two types of origins. One was being born in the large world, and these people had an identity from birth. The other was like him, coming from a small world, and upon entering the large world, their first stop was to register. The strong among the humans had made arrangements outside various small worlds, so that when someone came out, someone would be there to receive them. 770. There were rewards for this kind of reception, and it could generate income. So many people were eager to do this kind of work. Someone like him, because the night orchid god Venerable had taken action, no one dared to object. This reward naturally belonged to Ji Qingshan. Lin Moyu also saw that the people in line had someone accompanying them. Those accompanying them were the people doing the reception task. The human race had a very mature system internally, considering all aspects, it was very complete. Thinking like this, being able to meet Ji Qingshan in a small world was a kind of fate. The queue was very quiet, no one was talking. Many people looked around with curiosity in their eyes. Some people meditated on the spot, seemingly cultivating. Anyone who could come out of a small world was a genius. They were unwilling to waste time. Lin Moyu used to be like this, not wasting every minute, seizing all the time to improve himself. In recent years, Lin Moyu had slowed down, making his state of mind more relaxed and more stable. 2 days passed quickly, and the door of the registration office slowly opened. All the people who had been waiting for many days perked up. 100 days was not a long time for a supergod. One cultivation session, one comprehension of the laws, would take more than that. The line moved forward little by little, the registration speed was not very fast, and almost a whole day passed before it was Lin Moyu's turn. Ji Qingshan accompanied Lin Moyu into the registration office. The facilities inside the registration office were surprisingly simple. Besides a large table, there was a complex and enormous formation, and nothing else. Behind the table, a person was half lying and half sitting there, exuding a lazy aura. He looked somewhat careless, and his appearance was extremely casual. Not only his temperament, but also his voice was weak and powerless. But no one dared to underestimate him. This lazy person exuded a powerful aura. He had surpassed true god. This was a god king, a being far stronger than a true god. Ji Qingshan brought Lin Moyu to the table. Lin Moyu, from small world Vermilion Bird 983,344. Each small world also had a set of numbers. Vermilion Bird 983344 was the number of the small world where Lin Moyu was located. For the convenience of management, most star systems and large stars, except for a few important ones, were represented by numbers. Among them, Vermilion Bird represented the Vermilion Bird starfield, 98 represented the 98th star system under the Vermilion Bird starfield, and the numbers after that were the numbers of the small world. The small world Lin Moyu came from was the 3344th small world in the 98th life star system of the Vermilion Bird starfield. The numbering showed that Ji Qingshan was right, there were countless such small worlds. The staff member raised his head, glanced at Lin Moyu, and pointed to the formation next to him. Go in. Lin Moyu immediately walked to the center of the formation shimmered and began to operate. Rays of light shone on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was glowing all over, and instantly turned into a large light bulb. Ji Qingshan had already told Lin Moyu about the function of the formation. Lin Moyu was calm and composed in the formation, without moving. The formation would detect his identity, whether he was truly of human blood. A long time ago, there had been an incident of alien races infiltrating, with alien races impersonating humans from small worlds, and finally entering a human divine city. The alien race sabotaged the divine city, and was fortunately discovered and killed in time. Later, all people who came out of small worlds had to pass the formation's detection. Besides detecting Lin Moyu's identity, the formation would also record information about all aspects of Lin Moyu. More than 10 minutes later, the light of the formation gradually weakened. Lin Moyu walked out of the formation and returned to the table. At this time, the man took out a crystal the size of a fingernail and pointed his finger. The crystal instantly turned into a law and flew into Lin Moyu's forehead and disappeared. Lin Moyu only felt a slight tingling in his forehead, and then he felt nothing. Obviously, this law was not malicious and did not activate the defense of the bone armor. The man said, "All right, the identity has been registered, you can enter the Human Emperor network in 30 minutes. Then he looked at Ji Qingshan, "You need to explain to him how to use the Human Emperor network." Ji Qingshan respectfully saluted, "Junior understands." Although Ji Qingshan's Grand Master was a god Venerable, Ji Qingshan still maintained due respect in the face of a god king. Lin Moyu also saluted him, "Thank you, senior." He waved his hand casually, "Well, you go, the next one can come in." Walking out of the registration office, Ji Qingshan said, "All right, you can now move freely in the human world. Now I'll tell you about the Human Emperor Network, also known as the Human Emperor Network World, which is a unique semi-virtual and semi-real world of our human race. As long as you are in the human world, you can connect to the Human Emperor Network, but entering the Human Emperor Network will continuously consume soul power. However, the consumption is not much, and a supergod can maintain this consumption for a long time. In Ji Qingshan's explanation, Lin Moyu gradually learned about the uses of the Human Emperor Network. The humans in the large world were completely different from the humans in the small world. Besides strength and knowledge, the Human Emperor Network is a very important point. The Human Emperor Network covers the entire human world. As long as you consume a little soul power, you can enter it. In the Human Emperor Network, you can comprehend laws, cultivate, accept tasks, and view various information and materials. In addition, the Human Emperor Network has many other functions that cannot be explained in a few words. Lin Mo needs to explore them himself. Just through Ji Qingshan's description, Lin Mo had already realized that an invisible Human Emperor Network had tightly bound the entire human race together. What happened in the Vermilion Bird star territory at 2.9 seconds can be known by the human race in other star territories in the next second. If someone encounters danger, they can ask for help in the Human Emperor Network. As long as they report the coordinates, someone will rush to help. Even the Human Emperor Network has positioning capabilities. Even if you cannot determine the coordinates, you can roughly locate yourself. Ji Qingshan said, "The role of the Human Emperor Network is very large. The most important thing is the Human Emperor points. Human Emperor points are money. Whether in the Human Emperor Network world or in the real world, everything costs Human Emperor points. As for how to earn Human Emperor points, you will naturally know when you enter the Human Emperor Network. I won't waste my breath." After Ji Qingshan finished explaining the general functions of the Human Emperor Network, half an hour had passed. Lin Mo felt his consciousness suddenly connected to a strange world, and a void appeared before his eyes. The picture in front of him quickly solidified, turning from illusion to reality in the blink of an eye. Chapter 879, People, coming and going in batches. He found himself in a plaza. This plaza, whether in terms of architecture or scale, was exactly the same as the plaza he was in reality. A gentle breeze caressed his face, just like in the real world. Reaching out, raising his foot, running, jumping, flying, it was all exactly the same as in the real world. Lin Mo could even feel his laws, his power, and his spells. The Human Emperor Network is truly magical. Suddenly, a flash of light appeared before his eyes, and Ji Qingshan appeared. She had also entered the Human Emperor Network. Ji Qingshan was wearing a mask, hiding her appearance. However, her hairstyle and clothes had not changed, and Lin Mo recognized her at a glance. Ji Qingshan took off her mask. In the Human Emperor Network, everyone's image is exactly the same as in reality. However, you can choose not to allow others to view your information. Then, change your clothes and wear a mask to hide your identity. Ji Qingshan was very dutiful in introducing the Human Emperor Network to Lin Mo, and Lin Mo quickly became familiar with it. In the Human Emperor Network, there are cultivation places, law comprehension places, task centers, trading centers, and so on. All kinds of functions are available. It seems that if you can think of it, it can do it. You can teleport directly to anywhere with just a thought, which is very convenient. You can instantly arrive at other star territories from the Vermilion Bird star territory. The only problem is that everything costs Human Emperor points. In the real world, it is difficult to move without identity information. Then in the Human Emperor Network, if you don't have points, it will also be difficult to move. Currently, Lin Mo is still in the novice stage. Every new person will have an initial 100 points. 100 points is not much, but it is enough for Lin Mo to become familiar with the Human Emperor Network. Ji Yuqingshan took Lin Mo to the cultivation hall, task center, trading center, and even the arena. After taking a tour, Ji Yuqingshan said, "Okay, let's leave the network first. I'll take you to a place." Lin Mo's heart stirred, and he detached from the network. The Human Emperor network is very magical and can accomplish most things. But it cannot completely replace reality. Some things can only be done in the real world. Ji Yuqingshan took Lin Mo to a teleportation array and activated the teleportation after paying some points. The teleportation array of the Great World is much stronger than the teleportation array of the Small World. Instantly crossing hundreds of thousands of kilometers, it took Lin Mo directly away from the big star and appeared in the starry sky. If a teleportation array of the Small World were used, it would take a while to teleport these hundreds of thousands of kilometers. In the starry sky, very close to the star, floated a huge palace. Lin Mo had never seen such a magnificent palace. The palace was over 10,000 meters high and at least 100,000 meters wide, like a fortress entrenched in the starry sky. The magnificent aura came over him, even making Lin Mo feel suffocated. In front of the palace, 5 huge light characters shone brightly in the starry sky. Human Race War God Hall. The 5 characters exuded a powerful aura. Lin Mo instinctively looked at them, only to feel that the 5 characters instantly magnified before his eyes, turning into a large palm that slapped down directly. The large palm turned into a soul attack, entered the soul world, and heavily slapped on Lin Mo's soul world. The soul world rumbled, and the soul world, which had reached the peak of the 3rd grade, shone brightly and stood still. The semi-glass and semi-crystal shell blocked the slap of the giant palm. Lin Mo felt that the soul giant palm had no malice. If he couldn't resist it, it wouldn't hurt his soul. At most, it would just make his soul vibrate a little. The result would be a slight dizziness, but it wouldn't have a big impact. But for him, the soul giant palm had no effect. After the soul giant palm's attack was ineffective, it turned into countless runes and appeared outside the soul world. Lin Mo could feel that these runes contained some kind of law, and he immediately began to comprehend them. He didn't notice at all that Ji Yuqingshan beside him had a smile in her eyes, as if she was watching a play. She knew very well what would happen next. Everyone who came to the Human Race War God Hall for the first time would be given a blow by these 5 characters. The soul attack contained in the 5 characters could only be blocked by a soul realm of at least the peak of the 2nd grade. But generally speaking, most people who have just left the small world only have the strength of the super god 1st or 2nd order, and at most will not exceed the 4th order. The soul quality is only at the level of the peak of the 1st grade, and it will definitely be affected. It is unavoidable to make a small fool of themselves, but it doesn't matter. This can make them more honest and polish the arrogance they brought out of the small world. But the next scene stunned her. Lin Mo looked at the 5 characters motionlessly, as if nothing had happened. He didn't even blink his eyes, but instead watched with great interest. Ji Yuqingshan was stunned. What was going on? Could it be that his soul quality is very high? Impossible, at least a soul of the peak of the 2nd grade is needed to be unaffected. No matter how she looked at it, Lin Mo was only at the super god 1st order. In her mind, no matter how high his soul quality was, how high could it be? Perhaps Lin Mo's strength was not weak, and even his soul level exceeded his level, but improving soul quality was not so easy. In Ji Yuqingshan's shock, someone came out of the teleportation array next to them. They were all super gods who registered in the same batch as Lin Mo. And like Lin Mo, they had just come out of the small world. After registering, they became familiar with the Human Emperor network and came here with the leadership of their respective guides. The Human Race War God Hall is the last step of the reception mission. Everyone has to come here. These people, like Lin Mo, instinctively looked at the 5 characters of Human Race War God Hall. In an instant, everyone groaned and stepped back. Some people even fell to the ground on the spot. These people showed horrified expressions, and their faces turned pale, obviously not feeling well. Their guides all had smiles on their faces, having long expected such a scene to happen. When Ji Yuqingshan saw their reaction, she felt that this was normal. This guy the first brought with me seems a bit off, no matter how I look at him. At this moment, the other guides also noticed Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu, who was obviously a newbie, was staring at the 5 big characters, Human Race War God Hall, and seemed to be enjoying it. You're kidding me, how could this happen? It wasn't just them who didn't believe it, Ji Yuqingshan didn't believe it either. But it just so happened. No one spoke to wake Lin Moyu. When someone was about to ask, they were directly stopped by their guide. The great world has its rules. Interrupting someone's comprehension is a life and death feud. Lin Moyu was clearly comprehending something and couldn't be disturbed. Ji Yuqingshan could only wait patiently. After a while, Lin Moyu still showed no signs of waking up. Those guides took their newbies and entered the human race war god hall. Before long, another group of newbies arrived, and the previous scene repeated itself. Ji Yuqingshan had now switched from shock mode to spectator mode, watching other people's drama. As new people continued to arrive, this scene continued to repeat itself. Groups of people came and went, but only Ji Yuqingshan stayed with Lin Moyu, unable to go anywhere. Unless she gave up the mission, she couldn't go anywhere until Lin Moyu woke up. Ji Yuqingshan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. After a full 2 days, Ji Yuqingshan began to panic. She didn't know what was happening to Lin Moyu or whether this state was normal. She could only turn to Nightwind God. Chapter 880, Human Race War God, Xiao Zontian. Space twisted, and Nightwind God appeared beside Ji Yuqingshan. What's wrong? Ji Yuqingshan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He's been staring at it for 2 days. Nightwind God glanced at it and roughly understood what was going on. Lin Moyu was clearly in a state of comprehension, with faint traces of law energy rolling around him. There were some things Ji Yuqingshan didn't know, but as a god, he knew everything. It seems little friend Lin has a very high soul quality, Nightwind God said. Ji Yuqingshan had a similar guess. Could it be peak 2nd grade? Nightwind God smiled slightly but didn't answer. This expression, in Ji Yuqingshan's eyes, meant something else. Master, are you saying he might have a 3rd grade soul? Nightwind shook his head. This master didn't say anything. Qingshan, don't forget the rules of our human race. Ji Yuqingshan immediately tensed up. Qingshan wouldn't dare to forget. The human race's rules. Do not probe the other party's level or realm, especially the level and quality of their soul. Unless the other party actively tells you, you can't even ask. Prying into others is a major taboo. The small consequences incurring hatred, and the large consequences forming a feud. Nightwind God looked at Lin Moyu. I see this child as unusual. Qingshan, you can try to befriend him. Ji Yuqingshan said quietly. Master, you often teach Qingshan to make more friends, and Qingshan has always been doing it diligently. However, making friends also depends on fate and whether we can treat each other sincerely. Nightwind God was gratified. Qingshan is right. Sincere treatment is the first step. If you can't even do that, it's better not to make some fair-weather friends. I see this child has a stable mind and is a good seed. Anyone who can stand out from the small world will not be too bad. Some people in the great world look down on those who come out of the small world, but this master doesn't think so. Ji Yuqingshan understood what Nightwind God meant. Disciple knows what to do. Nightwind God left, and Ji Yuqingshan continued to wait. The mission that was about to be completed was delayed by another 10 days. 10 days later, Lin Moyu finally came back to his senses. Opening his eyes and seeing Ji Yuqingshan, Lin Moyu was a little embarrassed. Sorry for keeping you waiting, senior. Ji Yuqingshan shook her head. Don't be so polite. Don't call me senior, I'm not that old. Then what should I call you? Lin Moyu didn't know much about the rules of the great world and was afraid of using the wrong title. A slight smile appeared on Ji Yuqingshan's beautiful face, like a plum blossom in full bloom, extremely beautiful. We humans are all descendants of the human emperor, of the same origin. You can call me senior sister. Lin Moyu was also straightforward. Okay, senior sister Ji Yu. Ji Yuqingshan asked, did junior brother Lin comprehend anything from the 5 big characters? Lin Moyu didn't hide anything. These 5 big characters contain a law, but it's a bit fragmented. The time was too short, and I didn't get much out of it. This answer was also within Ji Yuqingshan's expectations. That's normal. After all, this is just a branch hall of the human race war god hall, and these 5 big characters are just a projection of the main hall. If you want to comprehend the complete law in the future, you have to go to the main hall. Where is the main hall? The main hall is naturally in the central divine city. Lin Moyu nodded. I will go in the future. Ji Yuqingshan didn't doubt Lin Moyu's words. It's not easy to go to divine city. Divine city is the dream of all the strong people in our human race. Countless people want to go, but not many can successfully enter divine city. It's only interesting if it's difficult. Lin Moyu thought in his heart but didn't say it out loud. Ji Yu Qingshan chuckled. Okay, let's start the first step on the road to Divine City. With that, the two walked into the War God Hall together. A solemn aura permeated the War God Hall, and a strong pressure was everywhere. In the center of the hall stood a huge statue several thousand meters tall. Ji Yu Qingshan said softly, "This statue is the human race war god, Xiao Zontian. He was once an invincible powerhouse in our human race, and the War God Hall was created by him. It is said that there is his inheritance in the War God Main Hall in Divine City." Lin Moyu caught the word. Once, is War God Xiao not around anymore? Ji Yu Qingshan wasn't sure. He should still be around, but he hasn't appeared for a long time. Invincible powerhouses, existences of this level, how could they fall so easily? Perhaps they are in seclusion somewhere, pursuing a higher realm. The trivial matters of the human race world are meaningless to powerhouses of this level. What they pursue are higher levels and stronger power. Ji Yu Qingshan led Lin Moyu to the war god statue and respectfully saluted. This is what every human race member must do. The human race once faced the danger of extinction. It was Xiao Zontian who saved the human race from fire and water with his invincible posture. He fought for the foundation of eternal peace for the human race. Lin Moyu, like Ji Yu Qingshan, respectfully saluted Xiao Zontian. For some reason, when he saluted, he always felt that the statue was watching him. Lin Moyu couldn't find the source of the feeling. After thinking about it, he thought it might be his imagination. After saluting, the two walked towards the depths of the War God Hall. Drip, drip, footsteps echoed in the hall, and the entire War God Hall was extremely quiet. The closer they got to the depths, the stronger the pressure became. Here, even the wind had disappeared. Besides the footsteps, there was no sound. Ji Yu Qingshan stopped talking and switched to soul voice. In a moment, the War God Hall will test you. They will record your bone age, record your soul, and rate your cultivation aptitude. Don't worry, the War God Hall will not pry into your secrets. No one but you will know all the test results. Outsiders can only see your final score. Lin Mo nodded, understanding Ji Yu Qingshan's meaning. Don't worry, I won't hold back. Ji Yu Qingshan said, before the test later, you must first undergo the Great World Law baptism. Only then can you obtain the highest score. The higher the score, the greater the benefits you'll receive, and the more opportunities you'll have to enter the God City in the future. There are 4 grades for the score, from highest to lowest: extreme, excellent, good, and poor. Representing top grade, excellent, good, and barely satisfactory, respectively. You should aim for an excellent rating at least, and it would be even better if you could get extreme. Extreme means top grade, the limit. Extreme is the highest rating among the 4 grades. Lin Mo nodded, I will work hard. Deep within the War God Temple is a vast plaza. At the top of the plaza, one can see 10,000 points of starlight, with countless stars shining down. In the center of the plaza, a formation is slowly operating, and Lin Mo feels an immense power emanating from it. He felt like an ant in front of this power, easily crushed at any moment. Faced with the power level of the great world, he was simply too weak. The desire to become stronger grew in his heart. Ji Yu Qingshan explained, this formation is called the Star Array. It can gather the power of the stars to provide energy for the entire War God Temple. The War God Temple is not only a heritage temple but also a war temple. If war breaks out, all War God Temples are the most powerful war weapons. Lin Mo nodded. In his perception, the War God Temple was even more powerful than his god-slaying fortress. It could probably even kill a God King when activated. Behind the formation was a row of stone houses, some large and some small. In front of a stone house, an old man sat cross-legged. He was wearing a cyan robe and looked unremarkable. But when Lin Mo looked at him, he felt like he was looking at a high mountain, boundless and infinitely tall. The next second, this feeling disappeared, and what he had seen before seemed like an illusion.